Testing. What's up, Blacks fans? Thanks for tuning in to the Australian Lacrosse Network. Tim Kennedy here. The third versus fourth game between Western Australia and New Zealand is just running a little bit over time, so we're set to start the proper coverage shortly, but we thought because we like you guys so much and because you've taken the time to tune in, we'll show you just the end of the West Australian and the New Zealand game. As you see on the far side, we're in the last quarter at the moment. Western Australia leading 16-4. Only about 5-10 minutes left in this one, so we'll try and keep the coverage rolling for you. On the far side, we do have an absolute barn burner on our hands. South Australia have come good in the women's today, in particular, taking on Waikato, who actually finished second in the tournament after beating Victoria yesterday by a goal. We have a score on the far side at the moment of 8 apiece, so we'll try and keep the scores flowing in for you, particularly on the far side, as New Zealand have come alive, particularly in this last one. Sorry, the final is 16-6 is the current score. New Zealand have scored the last 2 or 3 goals in this one and are making a real fist of it late. There's a call there, he called a push on the far side. New Zealand will get the ball back and they'll get another opportunity to make a dent here. Of course, the margin's still 10 points. Cameron ripping a shot. He scored 3 yesterday against Western Australia. He's a big, big man, the New Zealand captain. 195 centimetres, 130 kilos. A very big boy indeed, and he has all the tools to go with it as well. A really bright future for him in the New Zealand setup. As Western Australia now just clearing the boy. We've got a flag down behind the play. Just sort of rolling with this here, guys. Didn't expect to be calling this one, but we figured, why the hell not? It's not often you get to see Australian lacrosse on your Facebook accounts, so we might as well give you a little bit of extra. As we have a 1 minute foul, the slash down in the back. Western Australia are going to get another look at their man upset. Disappointing tournament for the Sandgropers. They were the defending champions coming into this one. We're expecting a big week. Coach Gavin Levy and his assistant coach Sean Levy introducing some new faces, but definitely some old heads as well. Really never really in with a shout though. They opened the tournament earlier in the week against South Australia. South Australia blew them off the paddock early in that one, it must be said. Jake Rosenthal, who you'll see in action later on, 7 goals in that one in the first half alone. Really dismantled Western Australia, put them on the back foot early. They then came up and backed up the next day to take on Victoria in the second championship game, and yet again got absolutely blown off the park, losing 23-8 against Victoria, ending their championship hopes of going back to back. But beat New Zealand yesterday 13-5. Better performance from the West Australian squad as Lucas Koswara unleashes from the outside. Great save. Picks the ball up there, and Western Australia scores their 17th goal of the game. Apologies, just scrambling a little bit here to try and get you some stats for this one. That's Lyndon Simcock there, picking up the garbage that the New Zealand defence left out in the crease, and then copping a little bit of love there from the back end. The referee said, no foul there though, son. As Western Australia score their 17th goal, and it's 17-6. Meanwhile, on the far side, we're still tied. I think South Australia have taken the lead in that one. South Australia would be a big upset over on ground number 2 if they can hold off Waikato. South Australia leading by a score of 9-8. As we have a timeout here on the paddocks. As I was saying, so Western Australia, not a great week for them. They have had some shining lights, though, as the weeks have gone on. Ryan Hockey, their captain, East Fremantle prodigy, and all under-19 Australian crocodile from the 2016 World Championship campaign. He's had a great tournament for Western Australia, really been a lone hand in offence most of the time. He had 10 goals to lead the West Australian attack this week. Sam Harris also had a pretty good week with 7 goals. Tom Barrett with 5, but a revelation. We really enjoyed watching Nick Brothers play from Phoenix. He's had 5 goals and 2 assists for Western Australia. His first year as an underage, under 18. Of course, he dominated for the Southern Braves last year at the under 15s. But he is a real star of the future to watch for the Western Australians. Spent a lot of time in the penalty box this week, leading competition in statistics. Brodie Ray and Jack Bates, 5.5 minutes apiece through the regular rounds. Certainly not the statistical categories that Coach Gavin Levy wanted to, but if anyone knows Gav Levy, he does like to throw a little bit of wood, so it's always a byproduct of the aggressive defensive coaching style of Gav and Sean Levy, the two of them, both defenders at heart. Okay, not a great week for Western Australia this week, but they have put some time into some youth, and experience really counts a lot at this level. Getting an under-18s under their belt, and we look forward to seeing them bounce back at next year's tournament. Interesting stat to note, though, Western Australia distant third this year in the championship insofar as their games were concerned, but just to emphasise the fact that defence really didn't get on the plane for anyone this week, left that at home. Western Australia scored an incredible 21 goals across their 2 games against South Australia and Victoria, and were in neither contest, which says a hell of a lot about that. Plenty of goals to be scored, but New Zealand as well have had a pretty good week. I mean, the scorelines certainly haven't reflected the effort that they've put in this week. They lost their opening game 34-5 to Victoria, and then were held to 1 goal in the second game against South Australia. Put in a pretty good performance yesterday, 13-5, but they'd be heartened by the scoring of 6 goals today. They've gotten better as it's gone on, and I think it's really a real credit to New Zealand lacrosse getting them over here, getting this sort of experience and some exposure. Hopefully tournaments like this will light a fire for the New Zealanders. As I was saying before, Joseph Clarkson, their captain's been in ripping form. He's led the way for them with 5 goals. He's had a really good week. I mean, he's a big unit. He's incredible to watch, but I think the thing that stands out for him is that not only is he big, it's the fact that he moves so well, and he's key to New Zealand insofar as their transition is concerned. He's had a really good week for them. And he has a big future. We'd be shocked not to see him running around for New Zealand senior sides in the years to come. Flynn Houlihan's had a really good week for New Zealand as well. He's managed to score in every game for them. He's had 3 goals, hit the scoreboard on every occasion, which is a real credit to him. You know, they've struggled to hit the scoreboard as the week's gone on, scoring 11 goals across the opening 3 games. So for him to score 3 of those has been a really good effort. He's really worked hard for them, and he's had a really good performance. I like the look of, I think it's Jamison Tugamala. Please don't hassle me, my Kiwi friends. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but he's been really good through the face-off. He's had a huge amount of work to do in the face of some really good sentiment, particularly from South Australia and Victoria as well, but he's really held his head high. He's done a mountain of work for them today. And today he's been really instrumental in getting them the ball as New Zealand look to continue to push here. They've really had a great second half here. The last quarter that they've had has been really incredible. They've managed to get some really good shots off. And there we go again, right on cue. That's another one for New Zealand. That's Samuel Krishna with the terrific finish. And we've got a flag on the play as well. 30-second foul, but that's been cancelled. That's been cancelled by the goal. So Janu Sinski being given the finger and told to get back out there. So no foul on the play. Game's going to continue all even as New Zealand cut the margin to 10, 17-7. Not sure how long left in this one, but what the hell? It's free lacrosse, so you can't really complain. Everything's a bonus. Good to see some people starting to tune in and watch this one. Of course, later today, we've got the big games coming up that we're really looking forward to. First up, we're going to have coverage of the men's final between Victoria and South Australia. Victoria dominated yesterday 15-6, but so it'll be interesting to see what was held back from both sides. Both have incredible offences. They've been really good to watch this week. But then later today, Victoria v Western Australia in the women's final. Western Australia, the defending champions. They've run the table in the women's draw, going 5-0. Accounted for Victoria on day one by a score of 9-5. Victoria finished third in the tournament standings after getting dropped by Waikato by a goal yesterday in what was an absolute thriller. But we're really looking forward to bringing you that one as well. I will be joined in commentary later today by Dave Joy, the illustrious man, the myth, the legend, has left his man cave out in Geelong and decided to grace us with his presence for today's big game. Dave curled Joy, the voice of Victorian lacrosse for about 15 years. Probably called my finest game of my career. So always has a soft spot in my heart for Dave. And of course, Hayley Sofanos, the Victorian and Newport superstar, and of course, a member of the Australian women's lacrosse team. She's going to come and join us for the commentary of the women's game. So it's going to be terrific to have her there. As Western Australia bang another one in. That's Samuel Harris again. He's had a pretty good tournament, but adding another one to the statistical category. What we might do as this game slowly starts to wind up, we're not sure how long we're going to have between the two, so we might as well start to wind things up for the final. Okay, not too sure how long we've got in this one here, but Western Australia pushed the margin back out to 11 goals by a score of 18-7. But what we'll do is we'll start the coverage now anyway. We'll get ramped up. You get spared my ugly mug because there's a game on the field, so I won't be able to get down there. But let's start to fire this bad boy up. And I would like to welcome you to the Australian Lacrosse Network, particularly if you're just tuning in. Good to see so many people taking the time to get on board. We are still here, guys, so stick around. Again, this is free lacrosse, so you can't really complain. We're throwing this one up for you. Let us know how you're going. Let's see. Of course, jump on the comment section, have a chat. Let us know what let us know what you're thinking so far. Again, we're just to confirm if you've just joined us, we're just running the end of the West Australian New Zealand game. Game's running a little bit over time at the moment. Oh, ripping shot from Ollie Purton. Sticks one in the bottom corner as Western Australia score another one. As we try and give you the score, I think the Waikato, New Zealand, South Australia game's finished on the far side. We're trying to get you a score over there for our fans in New Zealand who are trying to tune in. I think that game might have finished there with a score of 9-8 on the far ground. We're running off the scoreboard. It's a long, long, long way away. But I think we've got a final score of 9-8 on the far ground. I think South Australia with the huge boil over there. I don't want to be jumping ahead of myself because I can't quite see the other score, but I know they were ahead and Waikato is still stuck at 8. So we're back in the middle here. Western Australia. Tom Barrett back in the middle for Western Australia. Krishna in the middle for New Zealand. New Zealand going to get another look at this one. Just easing the ball in, going to ease into another offensive set. Well, deep into the last quarter here of this third place game in the tournament between Western Australia and New Zealand, if you're just joining us. Free lacrosse for everybody. Everybody wins. And a big hello to all of our friends across the ditch if you're tuning in. Good to see so many people tuning in to have a look. It's Australian Lacrosse. It's free. It's live on Facebook. As New Zealand are going to turn the ball over deep in their attacking half. Tom Barrett's going to look to clear for the Sandgropers. Western Australia just getting into their clear. They'll be happy with this win, 17-7. Probably were hoping to win by a little bit more. But New Zealand have put up a tremendous fight late in this one, really cut that margin down. It was looking like it was going to get out of control for a little while there, but they've done a really, really good job as Barrett clears that ball with ease for Western Australia as they go in deep. Pings the ball inside. That's Finn Morgan with the shot. Ball goes wide. New Zealand are going to bring the ball back in. Clock's on the field at the moment. And that's the end of the third place game. Western Australia have taken third in the tournament with a win against the spirited New Zealand side by a final score of 17-7. We're just going to cut to a short break. Don't go anywhere. If this is your minute, go grab your tea, grab your coffee, and then we're going to fire this bad boy up and we're going to bring you live action with the Men's Championship final starting shortly. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Talking. They've been vengeful all week, and let's see if that continues today. Later today, the women's final. The defending champions from Western Australia have been in scintillating form all week, going to run the table 5-zip. And they take on Victoria, who they dispatched on day one, 9-5. But you can't help but feel Victoria have a few more aces up their sleeve in the women's final later today. But first, the men's final. Victoria really have been the trendsetters all week this week, running the table, going 3-zip. They started off the tournament dispatching of New Zealand comfortably by 29 goals and then defeated Western Australia by 15 handily to end Western Australia's hopes of defending their title. Yesterday, with today already set, both sides no doubt held something back, and it was Victoria, though, who prevailed 15-6. South Australia have also had a tremendous week, going 2-1 other than their loss yesterday. Plenty of offence from the South Australians as they pummeled Western Australia on day one, handled New Zealand on day two, and then no doubt held something back. And at this stage, what I'd like to do is welcome my co-commentator, Dave Joy, to the up here. Dave's just going to waddle up here now. Thrilling to have the Lacrosse Victoria's newest life member joining us here, the voice of Victorian lacrosse for the better part of a couple of decades. We've pulled him out of retirement all the way from Geelong to come down here. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Mate, first we're going to look at the Victorian side. The Victorians have had a pretty good week. They've really had a chip on their shoulder after missing the final last year, and right from the word go have been in scintillating form. Who's a couple of players that stand out to you for the Victorians?
Well, their leading goal scorer for the tournament's been number 4, Callum Gibson, the left-hander, very quick. Got a little bit of shake and bake about him. He's a good finisher. And the other one for Victoria, number 1, the face-off player, Tim Graham, been very dominant.
One of your boys as well from out Malvern way. You'd know his game fairly intimately, would you?
Just 1 of 6, Tim, but I shouldn't brag. No.
Okay, and what do you think the 3 keys of the game are going to be for Victoria today?
Well, certainly after yesterday's stats, Tim, they only was shooting around 30%, so I need to improve that. We know how important the final is. The other will be the nerves of the day. Typically a final for anyone, even though they're still under 17s, they'll feel the pressure. And third, but not final, will be their transition. They've got some big bodies that'll run through the midfield, so that'll be a key for Victoria.
South Australia's offence has been on fire this week. They've had a tremendous amount of offensive players. Who do you think is going to really stand out for them today, or need a big game for them today?
Well, number 6, Jake Rosnell has been a dominant scorer for the SA team. He'll need to step to the plate again today and try and bring his red team home. And
goalkeeping's obviously critical. James Burgess, another one?
Yeah, James Burgess, number 23. He's going to have a lot of work on him today, so SA will look for him to bounce those shots back and go on some transition for the SA team.
Well, they lost by 9 yesterday. What do you think they're going to need to do today in order to be able to turn that around?
Just play to win. I mean, yesterday was a dead rubber, Tim. Just go through the motions, get one back to the showers, and away you go for the next day.
Look, Tim Graham had a massive game for them. I spoke to Lee Vickery earlier today, and Lee was pretty keen. How key is the face-off going to be for this game today?
Well, it's vital. You know, yourself as a face-off player, Timmy, first use of the ball is paramount. But then, you know, you still got to score your goals, and your defence has got to play well. But if Tim Graham gets a clamp on that ball, he'll put the Vicks in the right direction. Yeah,
they're certainly going to need to go 50%. They really struggled early yesterday against the 3-pronged face-off attack, face-off guys that Victoria threw at them yesterday. Probably didn't get a lot of the face-offs in that one until later in the day. And obviously possession is going to be really, really, really important. But James Burgess is going to have a massive day for the Reds, isn't he?
Too true. He's got a lot of work put on him. But again, particularly Victoria win that ball from the middle. But transition's important again. But penetration. Whatever offence can penetrate, give himself a good position to win it.
Well, the waiting's all over. The sides are just coming out onto the field now, so we're going to take a really short break, and we're going to be back with the national anthems. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network.
We always stand for the national anthem.
Does this spike? Welcome to the Altona Lacrosse Club. Men's Championship Day. Victoria against South Australia. Should be a barn burner. Curl, you excited? I know I am.
It's a really great game I expect here today, Timmy.
Sides just heading to their respective huddles. Fast start's going to be absolutely critical today for South Australia. Face-off is certainly going to be a key issue of it, but a key for the South Australians if they can try and find a way to split that 50-50 after Victoria yesterday really jumped them 6-zip first quarter. Tim Graham was really instrumental in at least getting them going. Jackson Marsh as well, another young name to keep an eye out from the Footscray Lacrosse Club. He had a really good job. Did a really good job for them yesterday. But South Australia are going to want to do something in the middle there. If they can, I feel like if they can split the middle today and make some stops, then they're right in this game.
Yeah, they may even go to a long stick in the middle there, Tim, possibly try and slow up Tim Graham from the middle. We'll see what they're going to do. Here comes the long stick.
Certainly. Lee Vickery not holding anything back right from the outset here. Patrick Graham going to the middle for South Australia. But here's the key. This is one criticism I've always got with this curl. Long sticks get in the middle and they think they can face off. They try and face off, don't they?
No, their job's just to nullify him going first.
Make sure your stick's touching the ground, make sure your gloves are off the line, and the minute that ball pops out, start whaling. Is that about their job?
He's just going to try and keep him in there, which he's doing now.
And a very good job by Graham there. Nullified the fast break, but Tim Graham, the class shining through early as Graham looks to push the ball deep in for the Victorians. Late slide there. He's still got the ball. Geez, strong. Runs through three would-be defenders as Victoria are going to go into their set and get a look at this one early. Up the top with Bonjoy, two of the under-19 Crocodiles from Coquitlam. Just linking up there. South Australia looking to get after it nice and early. Good sign.
Yeah, it's pressuring the ball out there. Victoria now will go to a settle offence now. Very important for each team to get a bit of rhythm going early. Try and find that first goal.
Adam Milne certainly not intimidated with Bonjoy there as Gibson, the tournament's leading goal scorer, looks to get the ball inside over the crop to Bonjoy. He's got some space there. Rip
shot. Big shot.
Whoa. What a way to start that. Bonjoy with the laser into the top right. Bonjoy opens the scoring for Victoria and they leap out to a 1-zip lead. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's perfect. You wouldn't dream any better than that. Put the stick to the left hand and rip it to the top corner. Gibson again off that bottom drive from that back left. He's very dangerous.
Yeah, Gibson had a cracker of a way to start the week. Through 10 goals. That's right, you heard me right. 10 goals in the first game of the week against New Zealand, creating there, and Bonjoy's also had a pretty good week himself, certainly no slouch. He's had 10 goals to be fifth on the goal scoring tally. As Graham back in the middle of the game for South Australia. Hold on South Australia, Graham's going to get the ball again. They're controlling a fast break out of the middle, but Victoria's still coming up with possession.
Yeah, it'd be important to see Graham again with the ball. Gibson splits through. He's got a shot, finds the net.
Tim
Graham
Graham
have to slide.
Turns the jets on, and Victoria have jumped out of the gates on this one. And Lee Vickery's not liking what he's seeing at all in relation to this one. As Tim Graham, unassisted, goes coast to coast from the middle of the field. He scores his first. Victoria jump out to a 2-zip lead. You're in the South Australian huddle and you're Coach Vickery. What are you saying to your boys, Kel?
Well, I think we've really got to talk up and see who's got the ball and get numbers to the ball side of the goal face here. They're all guarding their men individually. They've really got to work some team defence. Whether they'll go back to a zone, possibly try and shut the shop up and just make it a lot harder for Victoria at the moment. They just split them through.
Yeah, the slide seems to be coming quite late in the piece, doesn't it? There doesn't seem to be... I mean, the Victorians are certainly... They're bigger bodied, but they can at least get in between the Victorian dodger and the goal. But moments like this take me back to my favourite movie, Any Given Sunday. Al Pacino walking up and down saying, no one ever said you're going to win this by a shutout. If I'm Lee Vickery, that's what I'm saying. Giving up a couple early. Still plenty of time in this one for the South Australians. But they've got to want to try and stop something now. Victoria, of course, jumped out to a 6-zip lead yesterday. As a shout out to everybody out there. We've hit 100 people online. Great to see them all. Thanks, Madison, for calling me out on the coast to coast from the midline. At the moment, technically, Madison, the ball hasn't gone into the South Australian half yet. So I'm calling that as a coast to coast, at least until South Australia get into attack. But very, very astute of you.
Yes.
Victoria just dropping back there to their second option. Finn Barrett picking up the ball. Great defense from South Australia as they look to get over him, but Barrett's down. He seems to have copped one The South Australians will say it was in the side, the Victorians will say it's in the back, but let's see what Donnie Lovett says it is. I don't seem to see a flag down on the far side. The Victorian coaching staff's just out there with Barrett at the moment. It's probably copped one right in that sweet spot in the back, Kel.
Yeah, he didn't look too good. Like he's got low to the stomach, I think, there, Tim. Got his legs up there, trying to get some wind back into him, I think.
Claims just taking some time here just to recalibrate. The Victorian defence haven't had a lot to do in this one just yet. Of course, in the cage, Ben Chapman in the cage for Victoria. Another Malvern boy, a few of them out there.
As I said earlier, Tim, just one of 6, yeah.
Just a lazy 6 girl. How are Malvern looking this year in the State League? Think they're looking all right?
Oh, they'll go all right.
Gave Footscray a scare last week.
Yes, just didn't throw enough goals to win the game, Tim, but sad, wasn't it?
Expert commentary from Dave Joy. This is why we pay him the big bucks, people. Throw goals, you win games. Jump on the comment section. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think the final score is going to be. Tell us if you think South Australia is going to get back in. It'd be great to hear from you all out there in Facebook land. Great to see so many people tuning in so early in this one. Of course, we've got a big day ahead of us. Spin Barrett's being carried off. Hope that's not serious. He's being carried off by the Victorian coaching staff. They're no doubt going to have a look at him now. Coach, referees for today's game, Dave McRae from Western Australia is the head referee. Brendan Pinkerton and Donnie Lovett out there in Ref 1, Ref 2. Glenelg superstar Luke Keesing over in the box as CBO. As we're going to have a face-off midfield, Graham back in the middle of the game. Graham back out there. Two Grahams, Patrick Graham and Tim Graham going head-to-head again. And Victoria, yet again, they're 4 from 4 in the face-off at the moment as they look to push deep. The crowd losing their mind over here because South Australia are down a player. South Australia in a little bit of chaos at the moment, but they're all squared away now as Polden comes off from the bench to take care of Graham at midfield. As we get a look, Gibson at X, Williamstown product, kicks the ball back around. Baker's had a good week, 9 goals this week. Moves on to Aaron Curry. Aaron Curry, another Malvern boy, had a tremendous week as well. All the Victorians have, particularly offensively, dominating the goal-scoring charts. 3 of the top 5 Victorians.
This is Baker on the bottom right. It's a good check.
Great check.
As they brought the ball.
That's Adam Mill picking the pocket of Mitch Baker. As South Australia look to push the ball, transition's going to be key. Puts the head down, gives him the business as he clears the ball for South Australia. And we're going to get a look at the South Australian offense here as they kick the ball around. High-powered offense. This one's Jake Rosenthal with the ball at the moment. Second in the goal scoring this week with 16 goals. Holden across the top. Looks to split, comes back. Good defense from Victoria. The double's gone. That's Lachlan Russell coming over to offer support. Rosenthal moves the ball up high.
Yeah, very important now that South Australia get in some nice rhythm. 2 goals down. Just need to get a bit of ball movement. Try and move the Victorian defenders around.
Seahawk, Palmer at the top. Rogers to his left, good defence. There, no slide.
Here's the one. Yeah, Chapman up to that.
Chapman all over that.
Let's see what the Vics clear.
Transition, they were really impressive on their transition yesterday. Tremendous patience shown so far by the Victorians. G'day, shout out to Duffy McKenna tuning in. Great to hear from you all the way over there in the US, over in Rochester. Good to see so many people getting on board. And we have a turnover. The ball's bobbled loose, but Victoria have gotten it back. South Australia continuing to push, though. Anything from settled at the moment as they clear it. Great
knocked
piece.
Down.
Right. South Australia are going to get another look. Jake Rosenthal gets the ball at midfield. Sells some candy. Nothing on offer, though. Unable to penetrate. The Victorian defence really hasn't been tested too much this week. Going to be interesting to see what they can do today. South Australia look to get back into their set again. It's Haskett with the ball. A few Glenelg Seahawks running around in this mob for South Australia. Hello to everyone out there in South Australia. Great to see you out there. Get behind your team today. Haskett looks to come the corner. Tremendous defence.
There's a
Great
shot.
strong goal.
He's
strong
got it.
Goal.
Henry Hassett down low from the bottom right.
That's strong work on the bottom corner from Haskett. Hit the corner hard, dropped the shoulder. Not a hell of a lot there that Gibson could do. Probably caught out of position there, down at the defensive end, the Victorian attacker, but Haskett dropped the shoulder and a fantastic finish. Ripping that off stick side, hip height. Pretty good finish from Haskett.
Yeah, that was fine. You know, low to the ground, the goalkeepers tend to carry the sticks high. Put the load past Chapman's ankles there.
See, Patrick Graham's going to want to be careful there, coming in around the head, but Tim Graham picks the ball up again. The old pinch and pop, got all day. South Australia looking to pressure. They're obviously going to try and work him out nice and early if they can. Tremendous hit from Haskett. He's been huge for South Australia, but an equally big hit coming out from Lane. And Victoria have gotten the ball back. They're throwing bodies everywhere, Curl.
Yeah, South Australia really need to step up with that physical presence, but then Tim Graham's got to learn at times just to throw the ball off.
That's exactly
Don't
why
have to risk it.
This is exactly why the French don't play lacrosse, Curl. Too hard and fast for them. Gibson looks to step the corner, rips one backhand. Victoria going to get another look there again, though. Mitch Baker with the ball. Bringing the ball back in. Shout out to Kippers out there over in Hong Kong. Hope you're behaving yourself.
It's Mitch Baker off the X. Back to Gibson. Look for a cutter. Back to Baker.
Graham's doing a mountain of work out there at the moment. He's on Baker. He's taken all the face-offs for South Australia so far. Hasn't won one yet, but then again, Victoria haven't got the ball out the front. So that might be a strategy in there at the moment to stop those fast break goals. Hasn't hurt them too much just yet. Of course, Victoria, if you're just joining us, Victoria lead by the score of 2-1, about halfway through this first quarter.
This is Aaron Curry off the top. The slide half. Kicks it. Long shot.
Milne giving him something to think about there. Not in my house, son, Milne says. As he sits Lane on his backside. But Lane gets the shot off anyway. Burgess all over that. Ball back in with Gibson. Gibson, of course, hit Bonjoy for the first goal of the game with under a minute to give Victoria the lead as South Australia look to press. Gibson with a tremendous split, looks the ball up high.
Good look,
great
good feed.
save from Burgess. Ducking and diving and dishing the Vicks were, but Burgess says, no thank you, son, not on my watch. Smothers them on the line. Lane couldn't impact the scoreboard as South Australia looked to get the ball out. Great piece from Burgess. I like the look of this Burgess, the defender, Lachlan Russell, sorry.
Yeah, big boy from Williamstown, big left-hander. Likes to get after him, which is good to see for the defenceman. Very good athlete.
Going to be a tremendous little battle there between Nathan Rowe and Russell down there. They're giving each other a little bit behind the play. Russell throwing him a bit. Rowe's giving it back to him on the crease there. Plenty of niggle in this one. Bit of niggle yesterday. A few South Australians certainly were throwing the wood yesterday.
Loads it up. There's the shot. Oh, Chapman. Stick side.
Holden would want that one back. Tremendous pass.
Yeah.
Holden gets the ball back. He's got some space if he's good enough. Rosenthal's on the inside. If he can find him, he does. Rosenthal, where's the contact?
See
Great
Chapman
save
again.
Chapman. That's his third save in this first quarter alone. And South Australia, though, in transition, have gotten the ball back. Victoria really struggling in transition on this one as Polden looks to settle the ball down. The Brighton bomber kicks it over across to Drury. Palmer's got
There's
some
the
room to
cutter.
find it. Rosenthal
It's good check.
pops one late, and there's a flag on the play. Good call from the experienced Don Lovett. Julian Prasad giving him something to think about after the shot there. Definitely in the rear. Great call.
Let's have a look at the SA man up. Critical now.
Chapman been in tremendous form so far. 3 saves early in this one. They struggled a little bit in transition, but they're certainly keeping them in the game. You can see Burgess again with another big save. 3 already again. As South Australia get deep into their attacking set again. Probably taken over the possession battle, haven't they?
Yeah, Victoria struggled to clear the ball. A number of times they've tried to go through their long sticks, haven't been able to carry it out. There's a stick.
Great
Good
piece of
take.
stick there from Russell. Russell looks to clear it out.
Oh, he's got it.
Turned over again. Mills with the ball for South Australia looking to clear it out, but he's turned it over. Russell's got front position on Polden. Polden and Russell going at it. South Australia
It's
with
off
the
the
numbers.
red.
Drury in front position.
Off blue.
Back with Polden, back in the middle. Oh, there's an offside on the play. Who's they going to call it on? They've
Yeah,
called
blue
a push
ball.
at the centre line. Gibson's gone over, but Lovett's called it as a push. So Victoria are going to get a little bit of respite in this one. Certainly give them something to think about. Get a good look at the Victorian set now as they look to go deep into offense with Bonjoy. Kicks it over to Bone. Just looking to try and take the heat out of the game. What are you looking to do, Victoria? Are you looking to try and continue to push this ball, or are you going to try and just take the heat out of it a bit?
Well, I'm knowing what Victorian style is, Tim. They're going to look to pretty much run and gun. They won't hold it for too long. But certainly need a bit of ball retention for a short while. Be interested to see if they try and get a few cutters to go through rather than take all their work off dodgers.
Victoria back across the top. Lane's had a bit to do early.
Off the top.
Great slide.
Good
jumped in there.
feed.
Oh,
Save.
another save. Burgess with his second save of the game.
It's nice feed inside for Victoria there, but South Australian goalie up to the challenge. Try and clear the ball. They're running it out. He's got past one. He dips the head. 2, 3. He's got past.
Drury's definitely burrowing his way through. He said, if I can't get it past you, I'm going to bury through you. And South Australia are going to get a look at their man up here. Last one wasn't too effective. Let's see with a bit more time here, see what they can do. South Australia looking to tie this one up. Still in the first quarter here, live from Altona. If you're in the Melbourne area, make sure you get down here. Great crowd building as we build up here to the crescendo of this men's game. It's still very, very early, and of course the women's final on afterwards.
Yeah, they built this for the left-hander shot. Here he comes.
Rips that. South Australia going to want to be careful. Might have to go to the photo finish to make sure they got that one back.
Yeah, Jack Palm. He had the motor running 2 passes before he actually received it. He wanted that ball. Drive. Shots wide.
Rips that left, puts it on the deck. Rowe with the ball, with the shot. Wide left. Not much for Chapman to do there. Victoria lead by a score of 2-1 here, deep into the first quarter. South Australia in a man up. We're in 1-3-2 at the moment. Polden with the ball, kicks it back across the top. Ball's been lost though. South Australia get it back. Haskett with the ball. The South Australian goal scoring. And then get another free pass here. The ball's hit the deck, but there's another foul on the play.
Nick Burgess, number 11.
Victoria
1 minute to slash.
Spending a bit of time in the penalty box early in this one, aren't they?
Yeah, they do tend to let the sticks do their talking. Instead of getting some good footwork to these loose balls and actually picking it up, they do tend to swing.
That's definitely a byproduct, though, of possession, isn't it? The possession are heavily in favour of South Australia at the moment.
Shot.
Oh, Polden.
Chapman wears that in the helmet. Cross crease, here it comes. There it goes.
Chapman with another save. He's got 4 saves already. South Australia could easily be in the lead in this one, if not for Chapman. And that is why they wear neck protection, Curl.
Exactly right. He copped that high up in the helmet. Not pushing the top centre of the Vic D. They're slotting back in.
South Australia certainly bought the big guns today, unleashing from the outside. Not on target at the moment. As Donnie Lovett calls time with Victoria still in the box. Polden with the ball, kicks the ball high. Palmer across the top to Wood.
Yeah, they're sagging off the top shooters.
Polden wants that shot at the top, doesn't he?
They're getting flat. This is the one. Steps.
Gets a piece. He's got a piece of his own man there with Jake Rosenthal as the ball drops down. Chapman's going to try and clear the ball for South Australia. 0 for 3 on their man up so far, South Australia.
And Victoria's clearing hasn't been brilliant, so they'll need to steady this down. Send in some quality short stick middies who can run this ball out for them.
They're certainly looking to go
Here we
through.
go, half field. He's got him.
Gibson,
Back
that's
door.
a touchdown. Gibson's got some space. Looking to push. The South Australian send the double. There's a flag down on the far side. I can hear the groans from across the ditch there as the South Australian guys let them know about that.
Yeah, it was a nice catch from young Callum Gibson running back door. Good pass too from the D.
Have a look at Henry Haskett, the lone goal scorer for South Australia here today. Just turned that corner strong, got the mismatch that he wanted, and got South Australia on the board. Really critical for South Australia as Victoria jumped out to a 6-0 lead yesterday at quarter time. South Australia certainly hanging in this one, and Chapman certainly keeping Victoria in it. South Australia having the better of the possession arrow so far. As we get a look at the Victorian man up, they're in a 3-3. Let's see what Cocky-Landers man up offense is capable of doing. It's movement through the middle. Baker.
One cut.
Curry with the shot from the outside.
Curry.
Tremendous finish there. I suspect Burgess would probably want that one back if he could. He's found a gap where there possibly wasn't one. But Victoria jump out to a 3-1 lead. Probably scored against the grain there, didn't they?
Yeah, very much. But helping their clear was successful and picked up the penalty there. It was a good man up. I think I've seen that one before though, Tim.
Oh, really? You invent that one?
I don't invent things.
Modest and good-looking curl. What a combination. As we get our first look at Jackson Marsh, Graham gives him the no-doubter in the middle, sits him down. As South Australia get their first possession out of the middle for today. Marsh won the flick, but lost control of the flick through some tremendous pressure. As there's a free in the middle.
Number 12.
Dylan Wood slipped on the inside. And the Woodville Warrior gets this one back to a margin of 1. Bit of a defensive lapse there from the Victorians to allow Wood that much space on the inside.
Yeah, they were watching where the ball was going and weren't conscious of picking up their respective plays. That Mitty just cut down from the top. Nice finish.
Tim Graham back in the middle for Victoria. He's dominated the face-off so far. He's got possession again. Graham's got the stick in there trying to mix him up, but Graham strong through the middle, and he's held the stick, but he's gotten away with one there. We probably have the better spot from our vantage point as Graham wins yet another face-off for Victoria there. As he puts his head down, grips the shot, but South Australia get a little bit. South Australian crowd to my left certainly thrilled as there's a flag on the play. Curry tries to rip another one. We're going to get another look at the Victorian man up as Zach Clothier takes a seat. We have a look at the goal earlier today. Dylan Wood with far too much time on the inside. He made no doubt about that one, cutting that margin back to 1. Really important that South Australia stays in touch here. Kicks the ball around, Tim Graham, across the top to Curry. Aglioro cutting through for Victoria. Sending crease man left, right and centre the Victorians. Over in the corner to Baker. Baker found Curry on the last occasion as they look to try and repeat the dose. Back to Baker. Baker across the back to Bonjoy. Brings that back.
Yeah, back to the left, feeding.
Gibson with
good
the
feed. Great shot.
Move over, Donald Trump. We found the mother of all bombs. Bonjoy with his second one from the outside today. Gibson found him again. That combination is proving absolutely lethal for the South Australians. As you can see, some tremendous movement on the outside. Gibson through and then pew! Bonjoy ripping the laser in the top corner yet again. 2 in the opening quarter for the Victorians. Gibson finding Bonjoy. Really important, making the most of that man up. They're 2 for 2 on the man up at the moment as South Australia are in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, red, illegal.
Legal procedure on the far side. South Australia a little bit rattled at the moment. They need to take a second, pull it back. Well spotted in the crowd there from Bev Levy. Good grab, certainly. Graham definitely grabbed the stick on that last one, but in the defence of my Zebras, I think we had the better angle for that one there. Those face-off men, they cheat a lot. Except me. As they kick the ball around. 6 on 6. South Australia have held pretty firm so far. Victoria's last 2 goals coming from man-up opportunities. As Victoria had the better of it lately. Game of ebbs and flows so far. As he kicks the ball across the top. Gibson with the shot. And he's given one, and McRae's called a foul on the far side. Just waiting for the call to come through.
End of the first.
There's a hold on the play, so is Victoria going to retain possession to start the second quarter? There's a hold on the far side. Just picking Hamish Matherin with the foul. And that's quarter time here at the Altona Lacrosse Club in the men's championship final. Victoria lead it by a score of 4-2. We're just going to have a short break. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Welcome back to the Altona Lacrosse Club. Second quarter action about to get underway. Victoria leading by a score of 4-2. Pius Bonjoy with 2 goals for Victoria. Gibson persisting on both of those. Tim Graham with a great solo effort. I'm calling it coast to coast, you guys, but no, yes, you're right, it was from the middle. And Curry with the 4th one for Victoria. And for South Australia, Henry Haskett and Dylan Wood are the goal scorers for the Reds. Dave, what have you taken out of the first quarter?
Oh, we're pretty even overall, Tim. I mean, Victoria a little bit more polished offensively-wise. Again, they're getting the drive from the middle through Tim Graham, to be expected somewhat. But now for South Australia, they just need to hang in there, just hang in tough and certainly do what they can to turn the Vics out here. Only 2 goals down. It's early days, but they'll need to play some good D.
We're well underway here again. Victoria starting with the ball. Matherin in the penalty box on a hold for 30 seconds. They're kicking the ball around again, starting in a 3-3. Looks like a similar look to that's been working so far as Bowen cuts through to the middle. Baker looks to set a pick. Bowen pushes hard. They adjust into a 1-3-2 and then back out again.
Yeah, we're in the bottom right. It's going to be up at the bottom right.
Bonjoy over the top to Baker.
Still got him.
Baker with the shot. Burgess with a great save. He's going to look to clear for the Reds.
He's off. He's away.
It's his 3rd save of the day. Drury clearing the ball. He's been good in transition for South Australia. South Australia certainly been the better side in transition. Truth be told, South Australia probably should be leading this one, Dave.
Yeah, haven't been too far off the pace, Tim. It's just they haven't had enough time in the offence, and just as I speak, they've turned the ball over, and Russell's on it now.
Put the kibosh on him, Kel.
Bit of voodoo.
Victoria looked to clear the ball through Graham. Drury looking to get in his face as well. Graham just big and strong. He, of course, was a member of the 2016 Crocodile campaign, finishing 4th at the World Championships.
Here comes Gibson.
Gibson
there
with
goes.
the shot, and Gibson,
he's drawn the foul.
A tremendous solo effort for Victoria.
Yeah, strong drive. Gibson off that back left.
There's a foul on the play as well, as we wait and see what the call is coming through. Looks like the penalty's been waved off. It was a technical foul. So we're going to be all even here as Jackson Marsh comes back out to the X for Victoria. Patrick Graham doing a mountain of work for South Australia. Patrick Graham from Burnside. 5-2 Victoria lead early in the second. South Australia going to want to try and hit the scoreboard soon.
Yeah, again, they'll need to hold this gap. Now it's gone out to 3, Tim. They really need to hold the reins here and just stay in touch.
Marsh is going to want to try and pop this ball. Cleans easy win out of the middle for Victoria. They've, of course, got a 7-1 advantage in the face-offs at the moment. We said before the game it was going to be critical for South Australia to try and at least split that 50-50, but that's not really going to plan, is it, Kel?
No, it's not at the moment, and the more the Vics get hold of the ball, the sweeter the motor will run, so it could be a big day out for the red team. I'm playing a lot of defence.
Yeah, they're sort of dicing with it a
Here's
little bit.
Baker,
They've managed
bottom
to get some
right.
good possession. That
Rolled back. No slide. There's a shot. Hits him.
Burgess with a big save. That's his 4th save of the day. As we look at the goal from Gibson on the corner, the tournament's leading goal scorer, come in the corner, diving, sticking it past Burgess, slipping on the insiders. There's going to be a turnover here. South Australia with the ball. Haskett looking to clear, kicks the ball over to Burgess. Burgess in the middle of the ground. He's got a player running free
Straight
through
out to the
middle.
midi.
It's Dylan Wood, the last goal scorer for South Australia. Dylan Wood from Woodville. South Australia going to want to look to get her on a bit of a touch here. Jake Rosenthal with the ball. Haven't seen a lot of him so far today. He's going to want to try and stamp his mark on this at some stage. 16 goals to date, had 2 goals yesterday against Victoria. He's been their leading goal scorer. 7 goals in the first half against Western Australia. Had a cracking start to the tournament.
Yeah, that's great production. 7 goals in one half of lacrosse. But he needs to get that performance back on track today because the SA team really needs some help offensively. Need to hold this gap. Going to roll back.
Great
Strong left-hander.
Great control.
Here's a stick up in the head. No call from the ref.
South Australia kicked the ball around. Strong play for Palmer. He's got the short stick matchup that I think he wants. He's going to look to try and push on Harari here. Steps
Slips inside.
rolls
There's the
back.
double.
Tremendous double. Shut the door.
Yeah, he likes to
Giving him an
slide early. He's still following him. He's got him. Got him out the back with a washing.
Russell picking the pocket at Haskett. Palmer's good enough to get the ball back as he kicks the ball over to Polden. Like to look at Polden.
Graham's very strong. Short stick D. Very strong. Stays on the hips. Got a flag.
Wait and see what the call is.
Interference.
30-second penalty. Tim Graham taking a seat, paying his respects to the scorekeepers. South Australia 0 for 3 on their man up so far. Going to want to try and turn that one around pretty soon.
Yeah, critical now, Tim, that they really get themselves on the board.
Of course, Victoria 2 for 3 on their man up, so that seems to be the difference in this one at the moment. Wood rips it across the top to Polden.
Here's a
Polden
shot.
from the outside,
There
rips
it
one
is.
off the deck. Polden from the outside, bombing one off the ground, making the most of this, the kick in this Altona home deck. Wood with the assist, throwing the through ball. South Australia get themselves back in this game, cut the margin to 2.
Yeah, good ball movement. Nice shot to finish off. Nice shot from high down low across Chapman. Good quality shot.
As you can see, the old coach's nightmare skipping the player on the outside there on the man up, but Wood knew what he was doing, evidently. Graham jumps. Graham had possession of the ball. He's pinched and popped it to himself again. That's another win for Graham out of the face-off. That's 8-1, the advantage to Victoria. And of course, the one that South Australian pinched was actually a Victorian win out of the middle on a flick, but just lost control of it. Went to a South Australian defender. Need to work on the middle there. It's a great split dodge. Kicks the ball back out the side to Gibson. Gibson tries to sell the step. Rips one down
He
and
shot
low.
it
Gibson
himself.
again.
Just went past them. They can't hold him.
Callan Gibson with his second. That's his 4th point. 2 goals, 2 assists so far early in this second quarter in this one. Victoria pushed back out to a 6-3. We just have a look on the replay there. Gibson stepped on the inside, ripped it on the deck. Great shirt selection. I had a chance to talk to Clint Lander before the game, and he said shooting percentage was going to be really critical for them today. And they're making the most of their chances, Cool.
Yeah, that was a good quality shot. On the move, down low. South Australian defence might need just to step up a little bit. We know he's very, very quick, young Gibson. You've really got to get your good footwork onto him. Now we've got a red ball.
Marsh and Mathwin in the middle. Mathwin takes the win for South Australia. That's probably their first legit face-off win of the day. That's a big confidence booster for them. You take them any way you can get them.
And Victorian defence are pushing out wide and high. Quite confident.
South Australia get the ball deep into their attacking half. Rosenthal with the ball, throws
There's
the
a fake.
No one bit those. He looks to come the corner, tries to push back. Great defence there from Bunches. Hope I pronounce that correctly, please, guys. Let me know.
Sammy from Chadstone, yeah.
Go and say his last name.
Bujez.
Bunches.
That'll do. One of mine from last year too, by the way, Tim.
Dave Joy, multilingual, multiple languages,
And we
speaks
got a
all the
timeout.
Victorian dialects. As we have a timeout on the field, South Australia, I think, going to want to have a look at it, as it is a score of 6-3 to Victoria. Nice to see South Australia get a win out of the middle, take them any way they can get. Cool.
Yeah, fine. It was a good face-off. Again, they just need to get a bit of momentum. And if you get it from the middle of the ground, all the better.
Yeah, it's important that they at least try and stay close. I mean, anything can happen in the last quarter, but the last thing you want to do is have that margin blow out to 6. And look, the big concern, I think, twofold for Lee Vickery at the moment. One, how do you contain Callum Gibson? Gibson ripped 2 brilliant assists through to Bonjoy early in this one, and then he scored the opening 2 goals, 4 points, and face-offs. But we've talked about face-offs. How do you contain Gibson?
Well, again, I mean, just got to put your best athlete on him. The quickest one you've got, just maybe even try and lock him off the ball. He's very, very smart. He'll roll back door. You know, he's good at giving going.
As we just have a look at some of the Moabs, the M stands for mother, the O stands for O, the T stands for dirt, and the B stands for bombs. Boom! About the only thing missing from that laser was a freaking shark strapped to it. Bonjoy's had a couple of absolute beauties early in the first quarter in this one, making for some tremendous viewing. We're back here with live action, South Australia, looking to try and chip away at this 3-goal Victorian lead. They're hanging around. Ball's on the far side with Drury. Drury back to Rosenthal. Palmer with the ball, looks to split.
Very dominant left hand. There he comes back to the natural.
Of course, he
He's a cutter.
coached these boys to Southern Cross last year, some of these Vics.
Not me.
Not you? Had him with the 18s. Who are some of these boys? Oh, they came over and played for you for Melbourne, did they? Rosenthal with the top, throws the split.
Back up. Strong left-hand drive. He's going to come back to his left. The D stay inside him.
Almost got through, but Victorian defence at the moment holding form. Bonjoy had a great tournament in the box last year in the indoor nationals, and of course with the Crocodiles last year. Potential star of the future, Pius Bonjoy from Moreland. The Kings of the North are here. Kick the ball around. Moreland controversially in the top 10, some would say.
There's a dump to the crease. Shot misses.
Had the space there, just couldn't finish. Rosenthal with the ball being double teamed on the outside. Drury looks to step inside. Bonjoy
He's in there.
Good
Didn't
control.
want
Good control. Of course, South Australia looking to go one step further after losing the final last year.
Shave. Chapman down low. Good shave. Let's see if the Vics can clear this one. Straight to the short stick.
Bonjoy over on the far side. Over to Bunches. Back to Chapman. Chapman showing some control. Kicks the ball over to Harari. Harari was critical with them.
He's bringing it right through the red traffic here.
Got some speed, but South Australia closed him down on the wing. He's lost the ball and he's turned it over. Great ride from South Australia to get the ball back. Palmer and Rosenthal instrumental in that one. Ably assisted by Nathan Rowe. The Victorian crowd not happy with it.
But again, so many players fail to use the goalkeeper, Tim, as a spare player in that clear. He could have thrown the ball back to Chapman and reset that whole play rather than run through the jaws of death there. Still, it's a learning curve.
They're kicking the ball around at the moment. Great to see so many people out there in Facebook land tuning in.
He'll come back to his left. He's trying to draw the fouls.
Strong, isn't he? With
He's
that
inside him. Hits the pipe.
Ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding. Puts that one off the pipe. But there's a foul on the play. Haskett forcing it. The issue. He's dangerous with that one hand, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Tremendous control.
He seems to be the go-to guy now to instigate some work against the Victorian defence here.
Sorry, Jack Palmer.
Jack Palmer, yeah.
Jack Palmer having a great game so far. Hasn't been able to hit the scoreboard yet.
There's a corner sneak.
Oh,
Turned
Rosenthal
him out.
Would want that one back if he can. Missed the 6x6 as Chapman looks to clear the ball. Victoria looking to push the issue here through Sam Todd-Hunter. Todd-Hunter's, and we have a
Got the timeout, Blue.
Great call from Cocky Clint Lander. As Victoria call the timeout here, leading by a score of 6-3 deep into the second quarter. We just looks at some of the replays. Palmer really strong, just gone inside, puts it off the pipe. Of course, draw the foul though, giving him a look. And look, it's been a game of ebbs and flows, hasn't it? There's been a couple of runs. Vic got on early, South Australia pushed back. Vic gone again. Who do you think's carrying the momentum at the moment though, Kel?
Well, I think South Australia at the moment had a lot of use of the ball there. Jack Palmer seems to be the one that's being given the task to try and penetrate the Victorian defence. One, draw the foul, or two, get a good shot off, or three, look to assist. So he's doing a pretty good job for SA there. He could do with some helpers, that's for sure, because Victorians won't allow him to come at that game for too long, and they'll look to shut him down. I'm pretty certain of that.
Yeah, he certainly seems to be the only one that's capable of penetrating this defence at the moment. The Victorian defence is certainly holding strong at the moment. Tremendous one-on-one efforts so far by the Victorian defence, and it doesn't help that, you know, once you do manage to get inside, Chapman's got 5 saves already in this one. He's having a cracker of a game. Our cameraman Sean Aaron's going to try and tell everyone that it had a lot to do with him, but frankly, Curl, Malvern boy, I think a lot more of it's to do with you, huh? Maybe? No? No, he's giving me the look. He's not happy with me. I'm trying to talk him up here, trying to butter him up here.
Here we go, Victorian man down.
Graham's going to want to try and turn on the Jets here a little bit.
He'll outrun him. They're going to try and get him in a corner and box him in. Now they're dropped off.
Appear to have pulled back as the player comes on for Victoria. Finn Lane back in the game for Victoria. Kicks the ball across the top to Gibson. Gibson been good in this one. 4 points already, 2 goals, 2 assists out of Victoria's 6 goals. Arguably been the player of the tournament. Leading goal scorer with 18 goals from Gibson from Williamstown. Baker kicks it up the side. Victoria taking the heat out of this one a little bit. Lane to Curry. Back to Graham. South Australia content to sort of sit in the hole at the moment, not really push. They'll be wanting to not let this lead jump out to 4 goals this early in the game. Victoria kicking the ball around again. Not a lot of movement from the Victorians at the moment.
Graham's going to come off the top. Split to his right. Here it comes. There it goes. Timmy Graham off the top.
Tim Graham with his second goal of the day, second unassisted goal of the day, and that's the last thing Coach Vickery and the Reds needed. He's kicked out 7-3. Real patient offense, not really pushing a lot, but then Graham gets the matchup that he wants, and he's just too big and strong. You can see he kicks into second gear, buys some space for himself, and a tremendous finish there. Not a lot that Burgess could do there for South Australia, and we are at that tipping point. Could become a blowout, or is South Australia going to come back and make this one close?
Yeah, 4-goal lead now for Victoria, so South Australia really need to do their best now to stop this.
Graham back in the middle. Marsh has got enough of the ball. Takes the ball out of the middle again for Victoria.
Runs through the red.
Turnover in the middle. Across the top. The Victorian defenders getting out on it. Bunches getting a bit of space out there.
Lobs it.
Gibson's got some space for the Victorians, and they're going to be able to get set again. Clothier pushing hard on Gibson. Small in stature, but certainly diminutive. Slippery as he looks to step inside again to create. Clothier's lost him. He's got him hung out. Gibson's. This is exactly what Gibson wants as Gibson looks to step the corner. Rips the shot.
Hits the top bar.
Ring a ding, 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 ding. Puts that one off the pipework. Pops the ball high again. Victoria.
Now Victoria with a 4-goal lead. They're in the driver's seat. They can just take as much time as they want, put in those fresh midfield and just continually pound the 6 red defenders.
Yeah, Pagliaro's out there now, one of the younger guys. Out on the paddock for Victoria. Kick the ball around to Bone. Lane's got a matchup that he likes on Graham. Probably not the one that Lander wants them to go through. Graham's had a pretty good game for South Australia. He's been zipping all over the field.
This is Aaron Curry.
Curry, of course, scored the 3rd goal of the day for Victoria. And there's a flag on the play, and we're going to get another look at Victoria's man up. Dangerous times for South Australia. The Vicks are 2 for 3 on man up so far in this one. That's Polden taking a seat. Victoria going to go back into their 3-3 as they get their main man up unit out there. If you look at the replay. Victoria pushing Gibson, as we're back with live action, Gibson with the ball.
Here it comes.
Wide
there
right.
goes Aaron Curry, big shot from high up on the right-hand side.
That radar a little bit skew-iff at the moment. He's going to want to zone that one back in for the Vicks. Certainly got the look though.
He got the look. Down low and hard. It was a quality shot at least.
But you know what they say, Kel, you miss 99% of the shots you don't take.
You've done
Maybe.
it back to the right. Here it comes again. Straight to the stick.
Not a great
Burgess.
shot from Curry.
Yeah, that wasn't not a good quality shot. Just got him back in the crease. Good
Tremendous
ride.
defence from Victoria. Great ride. That's Graham and Gibson all over it, two of the Victoria's senior elder statesmen.
Yeah, that's good pressure when you're a man up to double the ball. He dumps it. Here he goes again.
We've got a flag down. Burgess with a tremendous save. And we have a call at midfield. Illegal procedure. I think he's jumped the gun. Going back for another 30 seconds. Probably a little bit too eager to get back into that game, into the action. South Australia eager to try and stop the bleeding at the moment. Victoria leading this quarter 3-1. Giving them a 4-goal buffer deep in the third quarter. As Victoria back
Cutting.
to their man.
Open. Good
Gives-
save.
Burgess again, 5 saves this quarter alone.
And we certainly kept the South Australian boys in it. There's a loose ball.
Palmer uses his body terrifically. He's got a man on the inside if he can get him there. Palmer with the one-handed pickup. Little bit of chin music goes astray there. Burgess giving him one. It's Cody Rosenthal with the ball for South Australia. He had 4 goals on opening day against Western Australia. Wood with the ball back up top for South Australia as the Reds going to look to try and chip away at this one, try and get the
The
lead back
cutter.
there. Rosenthal.
There you go. On the cut.
Right on cue. Rosenthal with his first of the day. You're going to need more out of him, but it's that man, Jack Palmer, with the assist. And a great finish from South Australia. And they're not going away. So you look at the replay. Ripped that bottom stick side. Hugged the pipe. We have Graham v. Graham back in the middle yet again. This has been the predominant face-off in the middle.
There's Mr. Ground Ball.
South Australia with a rare win out of the middle. Graham over to Haskett and Polden's got
He's on
the
a
space
break.
if he wants.
He's got the break. Bad pass. He's picked it up. Shot. Chapman down to it. He's got Graham out this wing. Doesn't want him there.
That's a big save from Chapman, isn't it?
Yes, they had a fair bit of momentum there. Had the 4-on-3 split. It's going downfield. Good stick. Gibson very smart on the loose ball. Another timeout. They'll be on the blue as we approach half time.
If 7-4, South Australia sort of hanging around. You're Clint Lander. You're maintaining a slow, patient offence at this stage? Or, I mean, what's your strategy at this stage? What are you saying to your boys?
I think he'll just continue to what they've been doing, have good ball possession time and just try and go for the matchups they're looking for there, Tim. It's been pretty successful. I'm sure Callum Gibson will have something to do with this next play, whether assisting or taking the shot. Been a very dominant force.
Yeah, he has. Him and Tim Graham, the two big guns that Victoria have needed to step up, certainly have stepped up so far in this one. They, when I spoke to Clint today, I think the big kicker that they had today was shot percentage. They really wanted to make sure that they tidied that up. Yesterday, probably dipped down around the 30% mark, which is probably a little bit low for what Clint Lander's looking for. But today, started well, had some great shots on the outside. Probably lucky to be leading at quarter time. South Australia dominated possession. But sort of slipping back into old ways here a little bit? Burgess
Yeah,
making some big saves?
probably lost a little bit of momentum now. They start to take the odd average shot, but they can get themselves back in just with a good quality stick handlers handling the ball a bit more.
You're just joining us. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. You're watching the men's under-18 national championship final between South Australia and Victoria. The new champion's going to be crowned today. Western Australia getting bundled out earlier in this tournament. Victoria leading at the moment by a score of 7-4. As Polden scrambles in late. Gibson with the ball for Victoria. Kicks the ball back to X as the ledger is all level again. Man on man. Mano e mano. As the Victorians kick the ball around. They've been patient with their approach so far in this second quarter, really trying to pick their battles at the moment. Dodging through the short sticks.
Oh, good split.
What a split.
Very quick.
Drury's still waiting at the restraining line for his man to come back.
Finn Lane. I'd be giving him more of the ball if he can do those sorts of splits.
Oh, someone make sure there's a paramedic at the ground, because I'm sure there's going to be some ankles broken if he keeps pulling that sort of stunts. As Victoria kick the ball back at X. Gibson with the ball, calm and composed. Looks to draw the player. Clothier steps down.
Curry, little fake look away, just put it down hard onto the ground. That'll keep his confidence moving along. It's Aaron's second goal.
Gibson's third assist of this one. 5 points for Callan Gibson. Great finish. Burgess has been on fire so far in this quarter, but Gibson just pushed the ball, drew the man. Curry rips one off the deck. Haven't seen a Victorian ground bounce like this in quite some time, Kel.
Beautifully manicured field, Tim. What are they like in West Australia? They still green carpeted, are they?
Nah, it's just with the beautiful array of sunshine, Kel. It's just what we produce.
And probably the 50 mil of rain we had about a week ago might have helped it.
As Graham picks the ball out of the middle from the front. It's the first one he's got out the front all day as he pushes
Shot.
the ball. Shot, bang!
Good night. Tim Graham, run and gun.
Tim Graham's third of the game. Patrick Graham in the middle there for South Australia, probably trying to contest the face-off a little bit too much.
I think that might be
Graham
time.
Goes down for the draw. He's managed to snag that one just in time before half-time. As we have a look at the replay, Patrick Graham probably contested. Graham, quick as hell, puts his head down, and an awesome outside shot from Tim Graham. Pings that one into the top corner. And in the blink of an eye, Victoria have turned a 3-goal margin into a 5-goal half-time lead. As we just quickly recap the goal scorers from the first half for Victoria. Callan Gibson has been on fire. 2 goals, 3 assists. Tim Graham has 3 goals for the Victorians. Pius Bonjoy with a couple of Moabs early in the first quarter for his 2, and Aaron Curry with 2 goals. 4 goal scorers in total for Victoria, and for South Australia, 4 goals. 1 to Henry Haskett, 1 to Dylan Wood, 1 to Tom Polden, and 1 to Jake Rosenthal. It's half time here at the Altona Lacrosse Club. We're going to go for a short break, and we're going to be back with an interview with ALA High Performance Director Paul Mollison. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Ready to go, mate? Welcome back to the Altona Lacrosse Club, and I'm joined by ALA High Performance Director Paul Mollison. Paul, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Tim. Good to be here.
Now, there's a heap going on the international front with our Australian sides. Obviously, starting to warm up with the under-19 sides, and we've got a few touring sides going away. But, of course, the senior men's and senior women's are well and truly in clicking into high gear. Now, let's start with the under-19s. Where are we at the moment with the under-19 programs? Obviously, you've got the men's touring Ireland at some stage. What's going on with those guys?
Yeah, the under-19 men's come up in 2020, the next one. That's in Limerick, Ireland. That program will start with an information session at the Under-18 Nationals this time next year. The Under-19 women's team for 2019, that one's for Peterborough, Canada. They started off with their information session yesterday, and they'll begin squad process at about October this year.
Well, of course, this has been a really good look for the for those that are interested in the under-19 girls. Obviously, the vast majority of the squad have been on display this week. Only a few of them are probably a little over age and can't qualify. But your impressions from what you've seen with the girls that have been running around out here for that team?
Yeah, look, just like every other year, the Nationals are a feeder to our Australian team program. They're very important. The junior events, the under-15s through to under-18s, they all end up wanting to be in that under-19 Australian team. And then our senior nationals, of course, that puts on the display of our seniors that want to be in the senior Australian team. The indoor nationals, that event needs to get stronger with more teams in the Victorian comp, the SA comp and the WA comp at some stage to come on board to strengthen up that talent into our men's indoor squad program.
Yeah, it's an exciting team to sort of keep an eye on. I mean, being from Western Australia unfortunately doesn't have that indoor league. It's going to be important for Western Australia to catch up in that regard. So how's the next indoor team starting to track? They're starting to gear up for their World Championships in 2019, I'm led to believe?
Yeah, 2019 back in Langley, Canada. Look, the 2015 men's indoor team did very, very well at the event. This next indoor team will commence with an information session at the Senior Nationals in Adelaide in June this year, and then that squad program will kick off. It's a very difficult thing to facilitate, our men's indoor program. We have our bread and butter sport is field. The major participation is field with our current men's squad running, and then to get a parallel indoor squad, you've got the same players, many of them. And the indoor one is very difficult to log in there with scheduling to be able to have an optimum program of both the men's field and the indoor. But we get it better and better, I hope, and we want the men's indoor team 2019 to be stronger than ever.
Yeah, look, and stay tuned on the ALN. We're certainly cranking up the coverage of the indoors. We had coverage of last year's Nationals, which was great to see. Certainly a competitive tournament over here in Victoria. So we're excited to see what the indoor competition can do over the next few years and hopefully see us get to push up the rankings in that regard. The men's senior side, down to 55, starting to get to the pointy end of that selection. That's exciting times.
Yeah, it's really warmed up the men's field squad. As you say, down to 55. Their next big event is in July, the Maverick Challenge, and that's with the Japan national team, England as well. So we'll have a great 4-team event over 4 days in July, and that really puts our squad players under pressure and exactly where we want them to be.
Yeah, certainly going to be an exciting time, particularly with the senior nationals as well over at East Torrens. That's going to be a tremendous tournament as well come June. Well, look, we're going to leave it there for the moment because we're about to get kicked off the field. But what we'll do is we'll get you to join us in commentary just to talk about some of the upcoming events. So, look, thanks, Paul. Thanks for your time. And we're going to take a short break and come back with third quarter action live from Altona. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. We'll keep going up here. We'll get up here, and I've got a second mic, so you can sit next to me and we can keep talking about that. Stay close, because what we'll do is we'll wait for a timeout. Actually, you know what? Wait for a timeout, and then come back for the timeout, and then we'll bring it into timeout then, so we can keep following the game as we go. So
Did we cover that all right?
yeah, should you? Yeah, that was really good. Welcome back to Altona for the second half of the men's under-18 national championship. Victoria leading South Australia 9-4. Thanks for joining us on the Australian Lacrosse Network Facebook page. Make sure you get online, share it, tell everybody. It's Australian Lacrosse and it's free. So we're back in the middle. Patrick Graham back out in there for South Australia. Tim Graham out there for Victoria. South Australia going to need to try and dominate, get back into this game through the midfield, but Tim Graham has other thoughts as Victoria look to go deep into attack yet again. They're leading the face-off count 10-3 in this one, really dominating through the middle. Curl, where are we going with this game in the second half? Do you see South Australia getting back into this one?
Well, this will be South Australia's quarter for sure. They need
Close this gap up and get some rhythm going now. I think they're going to be watching a lot of blue offence in the last quarter, so this third quarter is super important to South Australia.
Baker looks to push the corner. Great defence from South Australia. Strong, throws some candy. Milne didn't buy.
He's back in and got it. Baker, a little bit of box there. A little bit of Canadian box from his father's side, of course. Chris Baker. Nice finish. That's Mitch Baker.
Victoria scored their 10th goal, and they have scored the last 3, and they are in danger of blowing South Australia out on this one. In this one, as we're back into the middle, Jackson Marsh out at the X for Victoria. One of the youngsters was at the under-15s last year, instrumental in the Western Metros, taking back the title from the Southern Cross. Yes, last year at Glenelg. Tremendous tournament put on by Glenelg in Lacrosse South Australia. Jackson Marsh had a cracking tournament for the Western Metros, the Footscray product. Only Footscray player in this side, surprisingly. Very, very deep with their talent usually. But the ball deep in attack yet again for Victoria. Gibson with the ball. Kicks the ball around to Baker. Baker scored the opening goal just moments ago for Victoria in the second half. Over to Bonjoy. Back to Lane. Lane's been everywhere for Victoria without actually hitting the scoreboard just yet. Baker throws some candy. South Australian defence saying no thank you, I'm full. Certainly didn't want a par of that. They move the ball around. Lane looks to throw.
Good
Another great
step.
split dodge again. That split dodge is fantastic.
That's a good step. The shot wasn't a real quality one. Here he goes again. Fake. Down low.
Step and Burgess with another
Burgess
save.
up to him. Mitch Baker on the rebound there.
Burgess with a couple of saves. He's had 9 saves already in this game for South Australia. 5 saves alone in the second quarter. Really, really important in keeping him in this game. As Bonjoy looks to make the split, slows down, strong offensive player, backhands it back across the top to Gibson. Gibson finds Curry. Curry with the shot, bottom left.
Yeah, just load the gun up. Curry will fire him. Callum Gibson, good vision. And Victoria is stepping it right out now.
Yeah, that's the right one. Then I could find a doctor. I think Curry's been running through the South Australian defence for the last 15 minutes. Certainly been instrumental in getting some leeway in this one as Curry scores his 3rd. Victoria's 11th.
And that second last goal for Mitch Baker, that just gives points to all the 3 Victorian attackmen. So you can see the big difference from end to end.
I think it was that man again. Was that Callum Gibson with yet another assist?
That's right, off the top. And he's Graham again. He's just going to run through them. 4, shot, goal.
Oh, Tim Graham.
You shouldn't be doing it as a junior, but then try and stop me. That's what he's saying to him.
We're going to need some police tape and some chalk because there's about 4 body outlines between the centre line and the goal scoring. As Tim Graham out of the middle, just so strong. The old pinch and pop. They cut off the fast break, but it's really a pointless exercise when he puts the ball down, beats 1 defender, beats 2 defenders, beats a 3rd defender and a 4th defender, and then rips that one bottom left-hand side. And Victoria are in danger of absolutely blowing this game out. They have scored 5 goals in a matter of minutes, and Lee Vickery is going to want to take time to talk about it as Victoria race out to a 12-4 lead. And we'll just keep going with our little halftime interview with Paul Mollison. Paul, obviously 2 massive events coming up. The under-23s heading off to South Korea and Japan.
Yeah, first up in June, Tim, we've got our under-23 men's and women's teams. They go to the ASPAC Championship, Jeju, South Korea. We're looking to improve on women's from silver, the last 2 events. Men's 3rd third place the last event, so we're really to get back in the medal games and platform our under-23s so that they can make their senior teams down the track.
Well, and of course the big one, probably our most successful senior international team of late, the women. How are they tracking?
Yeah, look, the Women's World Cup, they're on the last little track up to London, England for July World Cup. Looking forward to a big event there and get in the medals and give USA, England and Canada a run for their money and show them what we got.
Of course, a nice little personal touch in there. Sarah making the side. Proud dad.
Oh, fourth one. She's hit 30 now, so it's all over, isn't it?
Oh, gee, that's a ballsy man making a reference to age online, Paul. Sarah mightn't be speaking to you.
Probably not, but look, our girls have got a great nurturing system. The older ones take care of the younger ones, and that's what puts our talent right up there with the world's best.
Well, thanks for your time, Paul. Really appreciate it. Doing a fantastic job there with ALA, and certainly some exciting times coming up for Australian lacrosse. So thanks heaps for your time, Paul.
Thank you, Tim.
And Victoria back into attack. And Victoria now able to run all their midfield strings through. They have a handy lead. They have the clock on their side. They can run everyone now and continue to pound this red South Australian defence, who don't get a break.
Victoria.
Here he goes. There's the slide. Long shot.
Rips it wide. Wide left. Wide right. One of the two. Had a 50-50 chance and I got it wrong, Curl. Ball's at X for Victoria. Curry looking to bring the ball in. I could make another Curry quip, but I won't. I can hear the moans from all you fans out there.
Oh, he slips him inside. Good wrap. He's got him on the shoulder, though. And he's hurt himself, I think.
There are 3 players down at the moment. We just wait and see how things.
He didn't look too good.
Live. You can see the replay. Just a short break in the play here. Just trying to see who the player is that's down for South Australia. A few bodies collided.
The tall defender, I think, is his number.
Yeah, it looks like
The tall defender.
3 South Australians dropped at that one there, but 1 stayed down. Looks like it's that
14.
Clothier, I think.
Yeah, it is number 14, Tim.
He's had the tough job on Gibson all day. He's been obviously a big part of South Australia's defence. As just being helped in the field, being able to put weight on his feet. Looks like it's a leg-related injury. But he's able to walk off under his own power, which is a really, really good sign. We just take this moment to thank you all for tuning in to the Australian Lacrosse Network. Great to have so many people on board. And of course, if you're just joining us, Victoria, we're in the 3rd quarter here at the moment. Victoria have come alive late in this one, scoring 5 goals very, very quickly, taking a 7-4 margin, turning it into an 8-goal buffer here early in the 3rd quarter. Make sure you share the post, let people know we're live, we're online, and of course the action doesn't stop here. After this, of course, we've got Western Australia v Victoria in the women's final. Going to be a cracker of a game. Victoria looking to avenge last year's defeat out west. Western Australia winning their day 1 encounter by a score of 9-5.
South Australia, 2 men down. Box formation.
Tim Graham's going to take the ball. I think there's 2 South Australians on penalty. Going to be a 4-man zone. South Australian defence just has to hold if they're going to have any opportunity. Lee Vickery, not particularly enamoured down in the South Australian coaching box.
Here it comes. Baker, big shot. Gibson, look away.
Bonjoy can't quite corral the loose ball. The ball's popped loose. South Australia 2-man down, but recovered by
He got
Curry.
him on a shepherd. Yeah, he held him off.
Tremendous work from Palmer. South Australia's going to want to pick the ball up pretty quickly, though. They're about to restart play, and there's no one there. I think that's Milne trying to get out of.
Here's Curry with his pace. Takes a
Curry
shot.
rips another one on the deck. That's his 4th of the day. That's got to be frustrating for South Australia. 4-man zone, the defence held, forced the turnover, and then to get stung in transition like that. Because Curry, he got all the space that he needed. Burgess needed to come up big, but there wasn't a lot he could do. Curry with an excellent shot. Victoria really making the most of the bounce in this Altona turf.
Yeah, particularly Aaron Curry. He's normally a top shelf shooter, so someone's got in his ear and said, "Get him on the deck, son. They'll go in every chance." So he's reaped the benefits of that.
You mean your gentle nudging over the years hasn't helped? Or have your head fallen off over the years trying to tell him to do exactly what he's doing now?
He's a quality player. We're getting the red ball from the middle
South
here.
Australia with a rare win out of the middle.
Oh, we're getting a bit feisty.
Victoria lead the face-off count 14-4. Let's get the Victorian defence about to really be tested for the first time here in this third quarter. Ball's up high with Palmer. Palmer's really impressed me so far today for South Australia. He's been good, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's the one they put the ball on his stick and asked him to do a lot of work for them. But I'll say again, he needs some helpers out there. Here he goes. He's going to come back to his strong left.
It's probably not the matchup they want. Bonjour's big and strong. They need to try and work the ball around, find a better matchup for him, try and go through. Well, I mean, pick your poison, really, isn't it? Tim Gray and Pius Bonjour out there, two big, strong, short stick defenders. So you're basically looking then to try and go through one of the long stick defenders. And they've held pretty firm today as well.
Here he comes up the bottom left. Oh, he chased the back of the stick. It's good defence early. Didn't need to chase the back of the stick. Loose ball.
That's Jacob Poole. It's a great defence for Victoria as the ball continues to kick around for South Australia. They're going to want to try and hit the scoreboard and start to hit the scoreboard more regularly.
Off the top. They got Graham on the hips. Kicks it back out. Palmer again. Got the swim move. It's locked him up. That's when the double should be going.
The flag on the play in the corner as Polden looks to force his way through. Bounce one over the top.
Yeah, the Victorian defence are a couple of seconds slow on sliding on that. They had Palmer locked up. Had the handcuffs on him. Just needed someone to come through.
South Australia going into their man upset hasn't been highly effective so far today. They're going to need to try and start to chip away at this one if they want to have a chance at coming back in this game. You think they're going to need to try and hit the scoreboard here as Drury kicks the ball over to Palmer. Palmer out the back to Rosenthal. Up the side to Polden.
Yeah, they got him rotating. There it is.
Long ball over to Palmer. Shut down quickly. Rosenthal at X looking to try and create. Moves the ball around to Polden.
Yeah, they're not pushing it. He's giving him a gap.
Polden shoots wide left.
Yeah, gave him the lane to take the shot.
They kick the ball around back up to Polden. Polden looks to step. Pops one down off the pipe. Ring ding ding. Someone call the pipe police.
Victoria back in. 6 apiece.
Up with Wood. Wood at the top for South Australia. Back over to Palmer. They're pushing hard, but of course the man up's over. It's another man up that's failed. The Victorian defence holding firm. The man down at the moment. They kick the ball around. Big shout out to all of you there in Facebook land. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Victoria lead by score.
Yeah, good solid body. Yeah, he's backing himself.
Holden's copping some punishment, but comes through. It turns on the Jets. Rips one high. Wide left. Chapman not having to do a lot so far. South Australia just missing the mark a little bit with their shots. The ball continues to kick around up to Drury. Drury was everywhere early, have sort of gone out of the game a little bit. He's going to want to try and get back into the game as they kick the ball back over to Palmer.
And the Victorian defence is dropping behind Palmer's man. They know where the money is.
They've switched Burgess onto Palmer. It's Wood. Looks to back roll. Good defence again from Victoria. It's Harari. As he continues to zing a ball around to Rosenthal.
Cutter.
Another one wide. Wood getting some shots, but just not even getting it on the 6x6 at the moment.
No, but to their credit, they're backing it up. Keep the pressure on Victorian defence.
It's a nice long possession here. going to want to try and get some fruits for their labour. As they kick the ball around, Polden's subbed off in the background. Haskett back on the park.
It's quicker ball movement.
Palmer
Point.
across the top to Wood. Wood being defended by Harari. Harari playing some solid defence at the moment. Wood likes his chances though. Drops the hammer. Looks the push.
There's the
Harari's
slide.
Too strong.
Good
Oh,
stick.
what a
Good
finish.
reach. Good reach.
Wood put it up high, made Haskett go and get it. Haskett was up to the challenge. Oh, come on. And there's a bit of niggle going on after the goal there. Let's look at the replay. Wood hits the hits X, pops it up. Haskett reaches to the stars and pulls one out. Gets one past Chapman. Not much he can do that close in. And South Australia get their a long overdue fifth. Their first of the third quarter. That's Haskett's second. Wood with the assist. Bit of niggle after this one. It's in danger of getting a little bit out of hand, but referees, Pinkerton, McRae and Lovett seem to have it under control at the moment. No flags. Good to see. Haskett looking to cover the fast break off.
Graham out the front this time.
Graham goes through one defender. Tremendous defence though from South Australia. Adam Milne turning the pressure up. They went to zone for a little while there in the second quarter. But really with this sort of a margin, they've got no choice now as Gibson steps on the inside. Gibson rips a shot, pumps it into Graham's leg. Ball goes nowhere. 3 Victorians to
Top
1.
the red.
Graham with a tremendous bit of body work. Rowe gives him one for his troubles. Mills tries to give him one as well. Looks to rip across, but the pass is just off the mark. Haskett looking to clear the ball for South Australia on the far side in transition. South Australia looking to clear this one. Try and see if they can start to chip away at this behemoth lead that Victoria have built over the last quarter.
Got him out the box on the fly.
Drury's got some space.
4 on 3. Back left. Doesn't want it. Knock down Russell. Here we go. Victoria back.
Russell's had a cracker of a game in defence for Victoria. Gibson on the inside throws the ball but can't quite get the pass. Curry
That's gone.
unable to corral it, and South Australia are going to get a chance of clearing again, this time through Haskett. Haskett over to Burgess, going to try and go the slow clear here. Would have expended a bit of energy on that last failed clear attempt. Rosenthal kicked it through, and there's a flag on the play. We have the call on the far side. Clocks are stopped, just trying to figure out what the call is. Head chief referee for today is David McRae, speaking with Luke Keesing, the CBO, and Don Lovett comes in as well. Lovett had a flag on this side of the place. We're just trying to figure out what the call is. Just working through it over there, making sure they get the call right. South Australia, of course, in possession at this stage. Victoria look like they're setting up for defence. This ball's likely to go red, probably just whether or not there's going to be any time served. South Australia could certainly do with the possession. Use this opportunity again to thank you all for choosing to join us. Terrific to have so many people at home watching.
We've got 2 flags gone now. They'll get fined for littering the way they keep this up.
Almost need a calculator at the moment trying to figure out who's sitting down as we wait for the calls to come in now. We'll wait for the call. Bunches has taken a seat. Victoria not really sure what to do here either. Just waiting for the call to come in from Keesing. 17, legal procedure, 30 seconds. 22, Jackson Marsh, probably the first time. Offside, 30 seconds. So we've got 2 30-second penalties here that are going to be served by Jackson Marsh, I think presumably as the first home. And Sam Bunches in the legal procedure, not sure what he did there, but boys in black and white right on top of that. Ball kicking around South Australia. Big opportunity here with Victoria in a four-man zone. Polden draws the player, kicks it over to Drew. Palmer's got the shot if he wants it.
Stick
Back
in the
through.
lanes.
Great piece there.
Good stick. Hot potatoes at upfield. Good Curry cops one in the back.
From Curry.
Oh, it wasn't far off.
Burgess with the big save.
Yeah, they were man down there, Victoria. The 2 shots on the net there.
You're just tuning in. Victoria lead by a score of 13-5 halfway through the third quarter. Victoria all even again. They had 2 players down, both on 30-second penalties, but both have been cleared now, and we're back into a mano format. 6-on-6. Tim Graham with the ball. He's had a tremendous day. Hugely responsible for the 14-4 face-off advantage that Victoria boasts. Continue to kick the ball around.
And Victoria in no hurry now. Have a look at their matchups. There's Graham at the top. Baker wants it.
Baker likes the matchup that he's got there. Kicks the ball back across the top to Curry. Curry puts the shoulder down. Steps inside. Doubles come. Ball's loose. Picked up by Polden. Polden looking to clear the ball for South Australia. He's got 3 Victorians there. Curry, Harari, 4.
Good
Curry,
block.
Great piece. Get a niggle in this one. Gibson giving a bit of action. He's looked to clear. Swarmed by 4 Victorians. But South Australia are going to get the ball back. There's a push on the play. Pinkerton just taking control of the situation now. And Gibson gives one away. He hits one on the head as Polden looks to push with the flag on the play. Looks to dash it across to Palmer. Palmer with the shot. Chapman's up to the
Chapman
task.
up to that one.
7th save of the game for Chapman. Callan Gibson with the foul. Those sort of fouls just do the coach's head in, don't they, Phil?
Yeah, really unnecessary. South Australia almost on the centre line to clear that ball. And that's the last thing you want is a wild slash like that.
Bit of a rush of blood to the head. He was certainly involved in the niggle after that last little scuffle at the centre line. South Australia, though, in the man up, looking to try and chip away.
Yeah, bottom right is the right shooter.
Holden's got some space here if he wants to.
Back.
Rosenthal.
Is the corner. Can't connect it. It's going to roll out of bounds.
South Australia 0 for 7 in man-ups today. Not a good statistic at all.
There's Graham. He's just going to run this ball.
Rosenthal shuts that particular foray down. Graham with the swim move over the top. There's the ball through 5. And he steps out of
And
play.
that's-
Great hit from Zach Drury. Putting his body on the line against the big Graham. Forces the turnover. Drury clears the ball for South Australia with ease up to Wood. South Australia still man up. Gibson still in the crease.
Here again, it was another risk that Timmy Graham took there trying to dodge past 5 or 6. There's a shot.
Oh, Jake Rosenthal with the worm runner. Let's pour one out for the many great worms that just lost their life. As he pings one off the bottom corner. Come on, Red! Hops that one down offside, deck level, and another much needed goal for South Australia. Certainly stemmed the bleeding a little bit, but the hole at the moment is fairly substantial, regrettably, for our friends out in South Australia. They cut the margin though to 13-6. That's Jake Rosenthal, second of the game. He's going to need to do a lot if they're going to try and get back into this one. Big shout out to Brian McLaughlin listening over in Kuwait. That's certainly a new area for us, so we're officially going global. Big shout out, Brian. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have you watching.
And we're back at the X with the Mitch Baker with it. Aaron Curry. Victoria very systematic.
Tremendous crowd on hand, building still. Obviously building in anticipation of the WA Victoria women's game after this one. Hoping to see if Victoria could potentially do the double with Victoria in complete control of the men's final at the moment. We're halfway through the third quarter. Victoria leading by a score of 13-6. Victoria certainly not looking to take the steam over. South Australia wouldn't want this to allow this to continue for too much longer. Baker kicks the ball up to Gibson. Gibson with the shot. Gibson.
Shot. You've got to put heat on him. He's the one you don't want to let. Look at the goalkeeper. Nice shot, Callum Gibson.
That's Gibson's third goal to go along with his 4 assists. That's 7 points. Victoria scored their 14th goal. Baker just pushed the corner. Gibson had all the time in the world. And then a tremendous finish. Just painted the inside of that pipe. Caressed the inside of that pipe. Stick side, waist height. Burgess didn't get a good look at that at all. And Gibson continues to dominate this final. As Lovett puts the centreman down, no doubt tells him not to cheat. Of course, they say no and they don't listen to him as Graham pops the ball forward. Vickery trying to look for something different out of the middle there, but didn't really come up with much there as Doug Brooks went in for the middle. But that's three-quarter time here at PJ Lynch Reserve at the Altona Lacrosse Club, and it's Victoria in complete control of this one. They lead by a score of 14-6. Just to recap the goal scorers for the third quarter, Mitch Baker opened the scoring for Victoria very quickly, and then Curry, Graham and Curry again in very short order as Victoria really started to turn the heat up. Henry Haskett and Jake Rosenthal had something to say, cutting the margin temporarily, but then Callan Gibson with his third goal to go along with his 4 assists in this one has pushed that buffer back out to 8 and a score of 14-6. We're going to take a short break. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Welcome back to Altona for the men's under-18 national championship final. A tremendous crowd continues to build in anticipation of the women's final, but we are just about to start the last quarter of the men's under-18 national championship final. Victoria, off the back of a 5-2 third quarter, have extended their lead to 14-6 with 1 quarter to play. At the moment, Victoria are in complete control. South Australia throwing anything and everything that they possibly can do. Palmer back in the middle again, but Graham flicks the ball forward. Palmer trying something a little bit different.
No call.
Didn't get away with it.
There must have been a time delay there, Tim. I think the referee wasn't going to call anything.
Expertly called play on, Kel. Expertly called play on. Great to see so many people tuning in, watching on the Facebook page. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you think the game MVP is. Let us know who you want us to try and interview after the game. We'll try and get some interviews from the winning side. There's Cloutier.
Oh, Curry.
Curry again.
Yeah, South Australia defence trying to push out. It's either now or never. So, unfortunately, Curry just split them straight up the middle. A good ground shot.
So you're saying Curry's been going through them, Phil?
Yes.
Those at home high-fiving Westfield right now. See there, the replay. South Australia is certainly having to push out there. Steps on the inside, rips another one. That's his. I have his 5th of the day. And Curry's been good for them, hasn't he? He's really clinical with his finishing.
It was a good combination with Callum Gibson. Callum, of course, being the lefty and Aaron the righty. Both got great speed.
Marsh flicks the ball out to Harari. Harari takes the ball and Victoria are going to get another look. They lead the face-off count 17-4. Utter domination through the middle of the ground behind Jackson Marsh and Tim Graham. Who's your MVP, guys? Let us know. Jump on the Facebook page. Give us your thoughts.
And there's a Baker with a loose pass.
The ball goes to Russell looking to clear the ball again. So Victoria are okay. They're looking good on numbers. Great clear from Russell. They continue to kick the ball around. Harari across the top to Baker. Baker at the top looking to be pushed by the South Australian defence. Victoria lead this one by a score of 15-6 as Baker takes the ball deep into their attacking half. Getting a little bit brisk, Curl.
Yeah, the sun usually doesn't shine too hot down in Altona, said the lovely wife this morning. Make sure you bring a jacket. I've never been sunburnt in Altona in my life, so it does get cool.
Didn't think you showed enough skin to get sunburned, Curl. Back in I did see those.
Here's
70s
Gibson.
Gibson yet again with another one.
He's off the bottom right, all on his own.
Gibson with another goal. That's his 4th of the day by our count. Stat sheet's starting to fill up. Gibson takes the ball with X, gets the matchup that he wants, gets all the sun. That's all the daylight you need. The South Australian defence just marginally behind, but Gibson makes it work. And Victoria pushed the margin out to 16-6.
He's gone early. Victoria's gone early.
South Australia with another win. Wilkins with a big win. The South Australian crowd is in raptures to my left. Big win out of the middle there by Ben Wilkins from ETP. The Red Wing having some rare success for South Australia in this one. As the bird continues to kick around. Again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, Joel. Good to see you, Joel White. Thanks for tuning in. You should definitely get down and have a run again. 10 years is far too long.
There's a cutter. Good cut.
Cody Rosenthal. That's a name to keep an eye on for you South Australian fans. Scores South Australia's 7th. Just look at the replay. Forward X. Great backdoor cut and then an expert finish. Really good movement from the South Australians. Not a lot Chapman could do there again. A tremendous finish. South Australia getting the ball on the cage. Big challenge that they had, particularly in that third quarter, Kel. Lots of shots.
You can see South Australia's game plan now is to certainly send through the cutters, take those cross-the-body shots on the Victorian goalkeeper, Chapman. But all doesn't add to much when Tim Graham comes up with the ball in the next face-off.
Patrick Graham's battled valiantly all day trying to stem the flow of possession that Victoria has enjoyed through the middle of the field.
Oh, Curry on the left hand.
And the floodgates are opening here at Altona.
Aaron Curry on his left hand.
Bonjoy with the assist. Curry plenty of room. Bonjoy hasn't had the impact on the scoreboard that I'm sure he would have enjoyed after dropping his 2 Moabs in the first quarter. But Victoria in complete control. They push this margin out to 17-7, back to a 10-goal buffer. Curry's had a tremendous outing. That's his 6th goal of the game.
Loose ball, Tim Graham's on it.
Graham, yet again, I think I've got him at 11 ground balls on the day. Huge number.
And on come the Victorian Cavalry. The bench is all standing. There were 8 subs over there.
What do you think Tim's chances are? He's obviously put in a pretty impressive showing here, but really, is he a realistic shot to make the Australian side? He's in the final 55.
I don't see why not if he's doing the job.
Yeah.
But they're going to use him as a Fogo, no doubt. But he's been very, very good last year and again this year.
Mitch Baker at X with the happy feet. Giving him a bit of a nudge, moving pick turnover. South Australia going to try and clear the ball now. Yeah, face-off's certainly an interesting one. They've got a couple of really good young prospects there in Tim and Sean Clark from the under-19 Crocodiles. Noah Jenny obviously at the forefront from Williamstown.
Yeah.
He'll be important. So there's certainly the positions there. It's just a matter of how many Coach Glenn Meredith wants to take away.
Oh, he's picked it off, Curry. He's got a 2-on-1. 2-on-1. Doesn't want it.
Oh, Curry had Gibson over to the left. He wanted that number 7.
He had Baker to the right on the left side. Didn't choose either of them.
Bonjoy's got some... Oh, shoot it.
It's a cutter, Tommy Bone.
Unselfish. Brooks took the try to clear the ball. Curry had Gibson on the left, tried to go inside. Burgess with the big save. He's had a cracking day. He's had 11 saves on the day for South Australia. A pretty good output. Seen a lot of shots though as well. Baker pressuring in the ride. Palmer doing it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, got him running midfield now.
Palmer just about the pick of the bunch for you for the South Australian side.
Oh, I would think so, Tim. He's certainly put in a really solid effort. He's picked a few goals up and some assists. I think the red team's just running out of subs and some firepower.
Yeah, he's probably been the best player on the ground not to score a goal today, Palmer. He's been the only real threat.
Around the corner. Chapman up to that.
Rosenthal just reminds everyone why cascades are important. He kings the ball off Chapman's forehead.
Yeah, he's up high.
Chapman's had a pretty good game as well. Hasn't seen the amount of shots that Burgess has, but Chapman still had 8. Chapman was really big for them in the first quarter, wasn't he, as South Australia pressed. Monjoy clears the ball pretty comfortably at the end over to Bone. Bone steps inside.
Yeah, good decision. Don't need to turn the ball over now, Victoria, all the time in the world.
No, but as I was saying, I think, Chapman was really critical, wasn't he? I think South Australia had the run of the green in the first quarter, could easily have gone into quarter time ahead, but Chapman had some big saves early, didn't he?
He's got the double. Backhands it. There's the feed. Curry. Across the body.
And that is why you wear a cup, people.
Good check. Russell, great check.
Ball's loose.
He's got it again. We got a timeout on the blue.
Okay. 17-7 here at the Altona Lacrosse Club, about halfway through the last quarter. Dave, probably not too early to start talking about MVPs, but plenty to choose from on the Victorian side. Who do you think takes home the trophy today?
Well, I'll leave that open maybe at the end of the game, Tim, but I'm just going to ask all our viewers back home, who do you evaluate, the attack player or the guy who's winning the ball from X for you? Or do you think the goalkeeper's worth a look in?
No, well...
It just depends on one's upbringing, Tim, on...
Well, as a centreman, Curl, I think the centreman position is often underrated. I think we're often robbed when it comes time for trophies and representation.
Oh, in that case, I'll look to one of the two attackmen.
South Australia at least try and break even, and they weathered the storm in the first quarter. They were able to get more of the possession despite a really lopsided face-off count. But they're obviously dicing with the devil on that, and they obviously weren't able to maintain that.
Yeah, I think it's been very, very interesting, this VOP. I think the viewers at home would probably be the best judges to vote on that one if they like.
Yeah, no, but he's been very good as the game's gone on. I mean, look, you're right. Who do you pick? I mean, Gibson early was really good, 2 assists in the first quarter.
And Curry's been lighting it up since half-time.
Yeah, he's had
3 goals after the half.
I mean, really, I think it comes down to 3. I think you're looking at Callan Gibson.
Yeah.
You know, when the game was there at probably 4-2 or 3-2 early in the game, Gibson found Bonjoy for a Moab at the end of the first quarter. And for those just tuning in, it was the mother of all bombs. Bonjoy unleashing some cannons from the outside. And then Gibson scored the first 2 of the second quarter to blow that margin out just that little bit further. And he was instrumental in that lead growing.
Yeah, I think Callum's also picked up the bag of assists too, which is good quality assist play. There's a shot, Victoria. Tim Graham's got the knockdown.
But if I'm handing out an award for best split dodge, Finn Lane, hands down. The Cloughier looks to clear the ball out for South Australia. Big, lanky defender.
He's pushed him over the line. Baker's got him over the line. Yeah, Cloughier, the good run up the wing there.
Probably not enough coming out of attack, was there? Just in terms of offering them up some options. Last thing you want is your big defenders trying to lug the ball out of their defensive half.
Yeah, exactly right. You want those attack plays breaking towards the long stick.
That's probably an interesting one, isn't it, with where this momentum swung as the game's gone on. In transition in particular, South Australia were doing it easily. And I think the pendulum swung, would you agree?
Yeah, very much. I think Victoria's had the ball for so long, they've just simply worn South Australia down.
Of course, again, thank you very much for tuning in. Great to have so many people.
Good dump. Curry on the crease. He's got space in there.
South Australia look to clean the ball. Haskett has Brooks up on the wing. Brooks wants to be quick. He's got time. Graham overcommitted, overplayed that. Brooks has got some space. Russell's there.
Oh, in the box fight.
Candy.
And low.
Great finish from Doug Brooks. Tremendous play. Taking the ball deep out of the Doug Brooks with his first goal of the game. South Australia's 8, but it might be a little bit too late as Victoria lead by 9.
Now, lovely box fake there by Brooks. Drew the defender up in the air and ran straight around him.
He did, didn't he? Marsh in the middle, takes the ball with the old pinch and pop. Like the look of this Jackson Marsh. He's going to be a pain in the in the side of these guys for the next few years.
Yeah, well, he's been a real handy backup for Tim Graham, and you could put your number 2 man in and win 85% of the ball again. Really gives you a good package with those two. He's got that in the back.
Yeah, Finn Lane sort of impressed me as well. He's had a really good game. He has all the makings of a player that can continue to develop for Victoria. Finn Lane obviously out of Caulfield. He got a tremendous split dodge and you can't teach that.
That's true enough. I thought we might have seen a bit more of that, the way he gets a nice split going. Tommy Bones got the...
Hold of it, great.
He's got him for a flag. Oh, let it go, umpire.
He says he's come in off the shoulder.
That's a brush. That's a bit unfortunate. I think that was a good check.
That's the papers and Dave Curl. Missed that today. You've been a little closer today, Curl.
No blood, no glory.
Be careful, you need to shade like that. No blood, no joy, no glory. No joy. What do you think of T-shirts, Curl? There's Victoria back into offense, down to pass Bonjoy down in the bottom corner. Got to match up if you want to, but patient. Be patient with the ball, Victoria, today. Kick the ball around, gotten everyone a touch at the right times. Tom Bowen cutting through the middle over to Baker. Baker going to dance. Bonjoy up across the top. Graham.
Tim Graham lifts the roof off.
We're going to need a helicopter.
That's ended up on the 17th tee at the back.
He's going to need a search party. Bonjoy back across the top. Baker.
Yeah, nice. Curry down the lane. Another one from Karen Gibson.
He's got that number 7. He wants that MVP award. Are you going to be swayed, Dave?
I'm waiting for the viewers to give me some sort of indication if they don't mind.
Let's have a look and see. Make sure, jump online. Let us know who you think the MVP is. I think we're fair to say we've narrowed it down to 3, haven't we? Callum Gibson, Tim Graham, Aaron Curry.
And 2 of those are Malvern players, so maybe I should pass on voting.
You are out biased. It's got to be exciting.
What about Ryan Sparks, an ex-Malvern player, if I get him to vote?
You're not trying to stack the voting panel, are you, Kel? Big fight in the middle.
Yeah, good ground ball.
Win out of the middle.
Yeah, Red on the attack. Rips it.
Dylan Wood probably pulled that one a little bit too hard. Swings it wide right.
We're in the stage of the game now. It's no good die wondering if we're going to have a rip. Get your feet planted, light it up.
As the ball continues to kick around, South Australia throw the step. Cody Rosenthal, he's another youngster. He'll be around for a bit. You get used to that name. And his brother Jake's had a tremendous tournament as well. Great
Yeah,
save
Chapman.
from Chapman. That's his 9th save of the day.
Yeah, he saw that from downtown.
Expertly warmed up by our very own Sean Aaron.
Oh, good strip.
Holden picks his
Clean
pocket.
check. Lovely check. He's got him in the
Give him
back.
one in the back. McRae thinks about it. Ball still deck, doesn't call it. Ball still down on the deck. Oh, Mills throws down, but we have a head-high hit. Gibson's caught one in the head. Ball's bouncing around. Burgess has the ball. Gibson gets up gingerly. Caught one on the head there. Over top of Haskett. Haskett steps along.
He's on a break.
He's got the opening if he can find it.
And he
Puts it off the
stopped him.
inside.
Little bit of transition now.
With his 10th save of the day.
Got him on
Rosewood.
the swinging gate. It's all happening.
Blue have kept the ball. The aptly named Dylan Wood throwing some heavy wood.
Yeah, beautiful swinging gate check, middle of the field.
We're not saying whether or not there should or should not have been a foul, but damn, it's good viewing.
I think that was a clean check.
The old whirlybird. And we have a timeout on the play. We've got a little bit lost in that. But jump online, people. Thank you for tuning in. Great to have so many people there having a look. Certainly looking at trying to pick our MVP at the moment. But look, South Australia can certainly take a little bit of heart. I mean, it's hard because they obviously got rode back in Western Australia last year by the Western Australians. Western Australia obviously putting out a very different team this year to what they saw last year, and obviously struggled throughout the week and on. But South Australia, look, put in a pretty good defence. They've got some good youngsters on their team, so I think they'll be back next year, and I think they'll be a hell of a lot better. Certainly there'll be a fire in the belly for this team, though. They'll certainly have a crack. But it's looking more and more likely to forecast this one correctly. Shout out to Brendan Murphy. Well, good to see you tuning in and checking everything out. Good to see so many people there. Bev Levy, Tim thinks Tim Graham's the MVP. Narscott thinks it's Tim Graham as well. Tim Graham's got 2 votes. Been a goalie change on the paddock though. As Victoria ring the changes. And bring in Riley Payne from Elton. Riley Payne certainly should win the award for best last name.
And there's a foul on him. It's whacked Gibson, but he's got the washing out the back.
What do you think of the long hair, Curl? A lot of players long hair, a lot of curls. The Auckland girls saying earlier in the coverage they weren't big fans. Like it? You think kids are getting a little bit crazy with the locks?
As long as they don't have those man buns, that'll do me.
Probably the one on Vogue in Vogue haircut you might struggle with in lacrosse, I think.
Didn't Jeff have a good one back in the day?
Yeah.
Just long. Yeah, just long. Here we go, Vix. Back to business.
Tim Graham looks to drop the hammer again. Kicks the ball around to Victoria.
Nice footwork.
Taker on the outside. Burgess with a great hand save.
That was a nice save across the body.
13 saves as the ball goes deep into the South Australian attack, but they're going to clear the ball. Russell got himself a little bit of space.
Burgess.
Baker's got a bit of space. Great stick, great hand save from Burgess. He's having a tremendous game. The North Adelaide Rooster pulls off that North Adelaide South Australian red quite well. The Burgess is certainly having a cracker game.
Good feed.
South Australia looking to try and keep the pressure on.
Yeah, they're running at everything. Gibson, great look. Good save, Burgess.
14 saves, James Burgess. Russell tried to corral the ball back over but couldn't. Rosenthal's got some space if he can get it.
Chapman will get this. With Payne.
Riley Payne dishes out the Payne. As Jake Rosenthal's taking some time to get up.
Yeah, good vision. He's got a flag.
I think we have Victoria offside. No. If we have a Sits Jake Rosenthal down. Takes a little while to get up. Tremendous stop there from the Victorian stopper. It's always good when you see a goalie get out there and deck an attackman, eh?
Ryan Sparks is happy with that.
I can't do
The last time Ryan Sparks tried that, he tried it with a 130 kilo New Zealand defender, and that didn't exactly work out well for him. So, for full highlights, go to our YouTube page.
No, it's not on there.
There's Victoria looking to kick the ball around again. They've got a man up here.
SA running at everything. Gibson
Gibson.
just dips their head and shoots it high.
Gibson looked the laser to the top right-hand side. Someone struck a freaking shot. Popped it on the inside. Not a lot Burgess could do about that one. Get the calculators out to try and figure out just how many points Gibson's got. He's having an absolutely great game. I have that as his 5th goal of the game. Go along with his 4 assists, 9 points for Callum Gibson, almost a player of the tournament performance. Graham with another win out of the middle. Wilkins putting in a tremendous effort for South Australia. The ETP product certainly making Graham work for it. He's having a really good shout out late here. South face-off stats read for grim reading for our South Australian, 21-6. Shout out to good to see Brett Howe tuning in, South Australian legend. Had a tremendous senior nationals last year. Here he's made the move over to Glenelg. We tend to agree, Brett. Callum Gibson's had an absolute cracker of a game. We talked about Jack Palmer earlier for South Australia, but James Burgess has had a pretty good game.
Oh, Tim Graham.
As I put the kibosh on him.
Tim Graham from downtown. Long, hard shot.
Just about as we think we've settled in on who our MVP is going to be, Tim Graham comes up and scores his 5th and says, don't forget about me, boys. Plenty of room on the outside, rips that shot, and South Australia have pushed the margin out to a score of 20-8. Graham. It's a 2-pointer, Kel. 2-pointer. It's outside the line.
Yeah, it was a good shot. Graham, a dominant power shooter, all right, and he gets that step on him. Shoots it hard down into the ground.
Been a pretty good effort all round by the Victorians, really.
Well, to shoot 20 goals when the other week SA threw 20, the other day, sorry, they threw 21. That's encouraging for me to see this age group can throw around 20-odd goals.
No offence to all our subcontinent friends out there, but there doesn't seem to be a hell of a lot of love for Curry in the MVP ranks. Good to hear from everybody tuning in. It seems to be a neck-and-neck vote at the moment. Tim Graham.
Yeah. Oh,
Tim
great
Graham,
backdoor. Yeah, I'd say certainly between those two.
I think that ability to create of Callum Gibson's been incredible, but just the manner in which Tim Graham has dominated the face-off really has denied South Australia any chance, really, isn't the percentage of possession as this game's gone on.
Yeah, Victoria, a man down. South Australia looking to peg one back at least. Work the bottom right. Stick in the lane.
Russell gets a great piece there as Drury recovers the ball. Russell just making sure he's fully equipped and wearing elbow guards. South Australia throw the ball away. Victoria are going to get an opportunity to continue to add. Sorry, Nick Burgess there just checking to make sure that the players are adequately equipped. They're giving the elbow pads a bit of a love tap. Harari clearing the ball again. He's got some speed, this Liam Harari. Ball's down. Got a bit of work to do to fight. Gets the ball back.
Gets it back. Took on 4 red though.
Yeah, Liam Harari's had a pretty good game for him in Caulfield. Mitch Baker with the ball. South Australia look to double the ball. They're man up still, South Australia. But Victoria rather calmly and coolly just running the clock down as the clock's on the field as this one's almost done.
There it
And
is.
It's all over. Victoria are your 2017 ALA Under-18 National Champions, beating South Australia by a score of 20-8. Victoria certainly tremendous performance by their guys. They had a tremendous game. They were pushed early from South Australia in the first quarter, but really took over from probably halfway through the second quarter. Curls, what are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, certainly Victoria just seemed to have all the depth, had all the go-to guys, particularly with Tim Graham in the middle, dominating the face-offs. Then you had Callum Gibson and Aaron Curry down the pointy end, backed up by Mitch Baker. Really just had too much firepower for South Australia trying to contain for the 4 quarters.
For South Australia, though, I mean, they certainly had some tremendous performers out there today. James Burgess, pretty good in the cage.
Oh, excellent without him. Excellent. Did a solid game. Had a lot of pressure on him for the 4 quarters. Terrific goalkeeping.
Yeah, he did pretty well, and I was really impressed with Jack Palmer as well. Jack Palmer had that ability to sort of strong-arm his opposition as the game wore on. And no, he had a pretty good game as well, didn't he?
Yeah, it was excellent. Excellent. Again, they went to him a lot to get the work done on the offence for the South Australian team. Palmer certainly stepped to the plate, worked hard up and down the field as a mid in the second half. But, yeah, just too much firepower, Victoria, too much depth. And again, controlling the ball from the middle just puts them in the driver's seat.
As we recap the goal scorers for today, well, as I say, Aaron Curry had a tremendous game. He finished with 7 goals for Victoria. Callum Gibson, a tremendous outing from him, sort of cementing his place as probably the player of the tournament. He had 5 goals and 4 assists. Tim Graham, huge day out for Victoria, dominating the face-offs. With Victoria taking out a 21-6 advantage, about 11 ground balls for Tim Graham, but he finished with 5 goals as well. Pius Bonjoy, a couple of absolute bombs early in the first quarter to help establish that quarter-time lead with 2 goals, and Mitch Baker with 1 goal for Victoria. For South Australia, Henry Haskett had a couple, as did Jake Rosenthal, 2 apiece, and singles to Doug Brooks, Cody Rosenthal, Dylan Wood, and last but certainly not least, Tom Holden. But we're going to take a short break here from Altona. We're going to try and have a chat to a couple of our victorious winning team, and we'll be back with you shortly. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Welcome back. No. It's hard to find good help. Far out, seriously. Welcome back to Altona for the 2018 ALA Under-18 National Championships. And I'm joined by Cullen Gibson and Tim Graham of the champion Victorian Under-18 side. Congratulations, guys. How did that feel?
Oh, no, it was good. Finally got the monkey off the back, so no, it was good fun.
Yeah, unreal. Considering we lost last year, it was just awesome to come back and really stick it to them.
Yeah, because you missed out obviously on a countback last year. Just how much did that play a role in spurring you guys on to dominate the way you did this year?
We had a lot of bad blood with the South Australians, given what happened. We beat SA and we beat WA and lost to SA, so there's a lot coming off, and half the same coaching panel, so half the same boys as well. We just really wanted to show them what we're actually going to play like.
No, it was tough last year to get the loss. We couldn't get in the final, but no, it was good to come out here and have a good performance and get the win.
Yeah, they threw Patrick Graham at you early. Obviously, you killed him yesterday, but they came straight away with the long pole. How did that impact your game plan at all, in the middle in particular?
A lot more hoping that the referees would step in, which they did somewhat, but and also wing play, because we can't do everything in there when they're jumping on top of us, and that was their game plan. They did that well. Executed it very well, so it slowed us up, but we really used our wings well and held the ball in. And Jackson Marsh, our young face-off, he's killing it, and Finn Barrett hurt himself at the start and he's killing it as well, so we had a really good job today.
Now, you took on South Australia yesterday. I mean, how much did you learn yesterday insofar as your preparation for today?
Well, we knew today was going to be a different SA team than it was yesterday, but yeah, we just knew we had to move the ball quick and take the right shots, and we hoped we got the win, which we did, so yeah, it was good.
Well, congratulations. I don't know if you guys, as Riley Payne comes in, come here, you get in here as well, why not? Probably the best last name out of everybody down here, and you delivered the Payne in that last 5 minutes. How was that big hit?
Oh, it was worth it just to go on and lay him out. That was probably the highlight for me.
Well, you certainly gave us a bit of fun in the commentary box with it anyway. But no, look, guys, congratulations. You guys didn't hear us debating at all, because it felt like every time you swung between the two of you for best on ground, you scored a goal. So you guys didn't have anything going on over there. You didn't know what we were going on. So, well, right, we've got an intermediary in the middle. Who was your player of the game?
Probably Lockie Chapman, actually.
Oh, he's stiffed it.
Ben Chapman, that's right. Benny.
Well, look, congratulations, guys. Look, fantastic performance. Great to get the win in front of your home fans. Go and enjoy it, guys. Congratulations. Thanks for tuning in to the men's final, guys. We're going to have a short break and we'll be back with the women's final. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Thanks, guys. Hey, no worries at all. Thanks, man. No, mate, no worries. Thanks.
Sun's shining. I told you that. Coach, lines up. Move hands in the pocket.
Welcome back to Altona as we just sign off from the men's championship game. Victoria running out comfortable winners, defeating South Australia in the final. And Curl, you guys are back. You're champions of the under-18s. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a solid effort with the Victorian team. Very well coached, good solid depth. Are able to control the ball from the middle, as we said earlier, with Timmy Graham and Callum Gibson, excellent down forward.
Well, there's plenty of time for the coaches to make fools of us, but gun to your head, who do you think your best player was for today's game?
You twisted my arm, but I believe it was Tim Graham.
No Malvern bias in that?
Oh, yeah. No, he was outstanding. As we said earlier, if it hadn't been for him winning the ball from the middle, then I'm sure Callum and Aaron Silver would have picked up good points. But he was dominant up and down the ground. Excellent performance.
Well, look, thank you very much for making the trek from your man cave all the way out there in Geelong. Great to have you back on the screen, have you out there live. Technology these days, am I right? Pretty special, isn't it? But no, thank you very much, Dave, for joining us. We've really appreciated your insight and all the best. So, look, we're just going to sign off from the men's game now, but stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We have the women's final on deck. The defending champions, Western Australia, are taking on Victoria. So stay tuned. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Sparksy, chuck it back. Welcome back to the Altona Lacrosse Club, and I am proud to have lacrosse legend Hayley Stefanos sitting next to me in the commentary box for this women's final. Welcome, Hayley.
Thank you for having me.
The Vic girls and the WA girls. Would you all please stand for the national anthem? Apologies.
So we're ready to rock and roll down here at Altona for what's going to be a really great matchup between Western Australia and Victoria. Haley, looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the two teams go head-to-head. Obviously know a lot of the Victorians playing with or against them, and WA being undefeated. It should be a really exciting matchup.
Yeah, the start's going to be particularly important, isn't it, coming out of the gate for this one? Victoria sort of probably let the earlier matchup get away from them a little bit. Have they got it in them to sort of get the crowd into this game and make the most of the home field?
Yeah, I mean, I think finals always bring a whole new ball game regardless of what happens during the week. So both teams, I think, will just want to settle into the first half and do their part to just get some goals on the scoreboard and make some big stops and see how it plays out.
We're all set now for the first draw of this big championship final. Western Australia, the defending champions. Victoria looking to avenge last year's defeat out west. We're all set and all ready to go. Copeland in the middle, first draw for Western Australia. Victoria, Zoe Ellen-Stannis. Bit of a scrap going on to get the first possession. It looks like that's Ruby Barnes who's picked the ball up and taken the first possession for Victoria. It's a pretty good start for the Vics.
Yeah, I think centre possession's really important in any game, really. I mean, if you've got possession, that gives you the ability to control the game. So I think Victoria, I think centre possession kind of hurt them a bit in their last matchup, so they'll definitely be looking to improve on that today.
Jane White, she had a great day yesterday. Garnered MVP honours in the earlier game. Kicks the ball around the back. White again, looking to push the corner, asking questions of the West Australian defence early in this one.
Yeah, Jane will really be looking to continue, as you said, on her MVP game yesterday. She actually plays State League with me at Newport, and she's only been in State League really the last 18 months, and she's really grown since being challenged in that, and I think under-18s is a great opportunity for her to continue that improvement.
Kate Churchwood with a big save to get her going. She is going to be absolutely instrumental for Western Australia today. She has had a sensational tournament. I think by my last count, I think she's given up about 13 goals across 5 games. Just a ridiculous number.
Yeah, that was a good save. Georgia Latch really had a nice drive there and just wasn't able to put it away. WA will be looking to, control the tempo a bit here and just settle into the game. Look like they're being quite patient, get the ball around to start with.
Libby Blair just kicking the ball around for Western Australia at the moment. She had a big game against Victoria earlier in the week, scoring 3 goals. Rhiannon Panting, a member of the last under-19 Australian girls team from the Wembley Lacrosse Club, one of the captains. She's had a really good tournament. It's the one strength of this Western Australian side is when you run through the statistics, there's so many different players that can hurt you. Bailey Keenan's had a great week, Libby Blair, Madison Copeland, Carrie Somerville's another one.
Yeah, that's what always makes good teams really hard to beat, is a real spread across the board. And I think, the more you look to go through one player, the easier it is for one defence to stop that. So, as you said, the stats coming out of the West Australian team this week definitely show why they've made it through the tournament undefeated so far.
Copeland looking to take on Latch there on the corner, hits the ball to Emma Graham, one of the captains. The East Fremantle product, she's had a great week. She looks to step the corner. Fantastic defence though. Rebecca Adamson not giving Graham any room to move.
It's really important in the women's game. Obviously, we can't make too much contact, but to make sure you're applying pressure to the ball carrier. Otherwise, it's just far too easy to either find a pass or let a shot go, and Victoria did a good job of stopping here.
Emma Graham with the shot. Molly Dunham with a tremendous save. She's going to be a very important player for Victoria today, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. And Molly's, sounding a bit biased here, but Molly's another one of my Newport girls, and she's really capable. That's a bummer.
Right on cue. We put the
Moz, I know. Mozder.
Shannon Mitchell scores the first goal of the game for Western Australia.
That was a really opportunistic jump there by the West Australians. The minute Molly kind of stepped out of the crease, they jumped her before she really noticed what was happening, and the ball kind of really rolled in the crease there, which is an unfortunate start. But, it looks like a really tight matchup to start off this National Championship final.
Gemma Hunter goes to the draw for Victoria. Madison Copeland, a budding West Australian superstar, back in the middle for her second draw of the game. Victoria won one possession out of the first draw. Ball bubbles last. Wills gets front position, picks up the ball, turns on the Jets, under pressure. Great check from Georgia Latch. Latch and you all over it. Latch takes possession, pushing along the wing, drops the hammer. first goal scorer. Mitchell playing defence. Latch blows straight past her as Wills comes down and shuts down that particular offensive foray.
That's a really great turnover by Georgia Latch there. WA looked like they'd almost got a pretty clean take of that centre possession, and just as we mentioned before, how important defence is to maintain that pressure. You can't let your opponent off the hook. And that's a good shot by Tay there. Unfortunate and nice save by WA.
Unfortunately, showing your bias there.
Yeah, no, can't help it. Can't help it.
Oh, come on! You spent your career kicking the hell out of us West Australians.
I know. Well, to be honest, the only I've lost 2 national championships, and both have been to WA. So it's always a tight contest in these 2 states. Go head to head. So no, it's exciting to watch.
Victoria, great turnover, get the ball back there. Churchwood, though, 2 saves already for Western Australia. Copeland playing defence. O'Mahony takes the corner. Churchwood might have the ball there.
Looks like WA are going to get the ball here. It's really important in the women's game to make sure we have that backup. I think it's the same in the men. Once a shot goes over, it's anyone's contest at the back of the cage, and Victoria weren't able to back their shot up here, and it's a nice turnover for WA.
Yeah, it's such a silly turnover sometimes, really. I mean, it really is a turnover, isn't it?
And it's really, it's not one you want to give away at all. There really should be someone behind the cage, and WA now going to take advantage of that with a strong transition through the midfield, and looks like they might capitalise on this fast break, and they have.
Another tremendous fit. Olivia Wills with WA's second of the game. Western Australia jumped out to a 2-zip lead in this one. And the goal's confirmed. Victoria going to need to try and get some scoreboard pressure on Western Australia soon, otherwise they could find themselves in a hole.
Yeah, and look, Victoria have basically had both centre possessions. Georgia got that turnover on that last one, so they've had the first touch of the ball both times, but I think there's just been a little bit too much rush on their attempt at conversions, and WA have just been able to capitalise both on the jump of the goalie and then in that fast break transition there.
Packed schedule, we didn't probably get to preview this game the way we should, but realistically, what do you think are a couple of the keys if you're Victoria heading into this game?
I think WA are known for being fast and athletic, and I think it's just really important to make sure when you have the ball you take care of it and capitalise on the opportunities that you do get. In defence, I think it's really important that we don't let those fast breaks occur we've just seen happen then. And when you're defending fast athletic opponents, you've really got to step up and make early contact, and whilst we have seen that definitely has to be a focus for Victoria moving forward as well.
Yeah, and right now I think as well one of the other keys from what we've seen is this ability to control various runs that Western Australia get on. They don't seem to blow sides out, but what they do is they give you 5 minutes of just rampage, and it's a matter of limiting the damage. You almost need to be a prize fighter.
Yeah,
you got to withstand the Western Australia's blow, keep yourself in the game, and then try and force your way back into it. And at the moment, Western Australia are on one of those runs now. And Coach Hunter would certainly be disappointed, as you say. The goals coming from transition, they seem to have them at least in settle play.
Exactly right, and I'm sure if we, with the AFL and we had stats on the percentage of possession, I think Victoria's definitely got the most possession today, and another centre possession again now, but it's just about making the most of that possession and capitalising on that in attack. And that's a nice finish there by Ruby Barnes.
Ruby Barnes gets Victoria on the board. Really important, right on cue. As we said, got to control that run, and Victoria have answered the call.
And they have, and that's a really solid possession that they've then gritted out. They've had really all 3 centre possessions, and now they've finally got on the scoreboard.
Back in the middle of the ground now. Just a tremendous shot out of the middle to get the ball deep into attack, and Victoria really spread their offence quickly, got a tremendous look and managed to halve that margin and cut it to 1 in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's really important. I think the first half of any game, but particularly a final, you've got a lot of nerves, and obviously with these girls being young, it could be some of their first national championships, and to really ride out the nerves in the first half is important, and I think they'll start to settle as the game goes on.
Well, as you can see, the keys to the game from the Western Australian standpoint, really important that they get off to a fast start on this one. There's a decent crowd building. They need to take the crowd out of the game where they can. And as I say, goaltending is going to be really critical as well. Kate Churchwood's been an absolute superstar for them all week. It's probably edged Molly Dunham at the moment insofar as all-star keepers are concerned, and there hasn't been much between them. But if Churchwood can continue that stellar play. And finally, depth. The depth of the West Australians is certainly going to be put to the test today with the amount of players. There's the turnover, great turnover from Ruby Barnes. Latch is out in the open field, which is certainly dangerous for Western Australia. And Latch sticks it on top right. This game's all tied up at 2.
That's a really great turnover by Ruby Barnes, and as I said about applying that pressure early and getting out on those fast players, that's exactly what Ruby did and was able to get a nice turnover and find Georgia leading hard, and Georgia's super fast, is able to find the right angles there and put it in the back of the net.
As you just see the replay there, this Victorian attack is certainly dangerous out in the open field. Will's definitely no slouch insofar as a defender is concerned, but she was made to look slow there as Latch blew past her, and not a lot Churchwood could do in the one-on-one play. Got quite the fan base building up here, Hayley, as I can see. Good to see John tuning in. And
thanks for the shout-out, Dad. Oh, and Glenda, really appreciate it, guys.
Hey, guys, you know I'm here as well, right? Just saying. You guys take me for granted, I swear. And just touching on the keys to the game for Victoria, though, as we say, controlling runs is going to be important. Fast start. They didn't really get the fast start that they would have been looking for, but they have answered the call, and right on cue, controlling the draws. That's their third draw win so far today. Fourth, actually. I think they're leading the count 4-1. Much like the men's final, if you can control the ball out of the middle, you can control the game, and Victoria seem to be doing that at the moment. Yeah, it really is important. If you can't get the ball out of the centre, you're then relying on your defence to force turnovers. And whilst we are, I'm sure both teams have capable defensive units, you really don't want to give an opposition a chance to get in the game. Both teams are starting to settle, and you can see the possession really start to build now. What is with this brisk wind? Where did this come from?
I know. Well, it is Melbourne, so 4 seasons in one day. You can't have it all. Let's just touch wood. We don't get get rain.
Oh no, we are not protected in our elevated commentary booth here. Mind you, judging by Footscray last year, I think we'll be all right. So, Latch.
Oh, Georgia Latch, that's a sick shot.
Oh wow, Georgia Latch with a Moab of her own. That's right. If you're just tuning in, that is a mother of all bombs from the outside as she rips that one in the top left-hand side, and Victoria have shocked WA and have answered the call, taking a 3-2 lead. As we look at the replay, she gets herself a little bit of space up the top there, as you can see, just working herself into position, and then a terrific cut down the right-hand side. The old jump shot straight past Churchwood's outward stick. Whew.
That was a great rip. Gemma Hunter, lefty on that bottom crease there. Looked like Victoria were looking to settle, and Georgia just found a nice little opening, and Gemma found her to let that shot go. And Victoria again with centre possession. Zoe Allen did a great job there.
Western Australia changing it up, putting in Carrie Somerville into the middle.
And WA have again really applied some strong pressure off that draw, and that's what they need to do. Any team that is getting continuous possession, you need to change something up, and WA look like they've stepped up.
Well, it's certainly been an exciting day on the women's front insofar as the lacrosse has been concerned. A couple of cracking games as Somerville pushes the ball deep into attack for Western Australia. She is quite the athlete. As she steps the corner, she has space if she wants it. Has a look, keeps going.
That's good defence by Victoria. I mean, Carrie's a huge contributor at a senior level, let alone an under-18 level. So that's really good effort there for Victoria to hold her out. Probably would have let a shot go earlier if I was her. But, Victoria did a good job there to force her back behind the cage.
Look too many of those looks away.
Yeah, no. You got to capitalise on that. And, sometimes, whilst it's good to be patient, it's also a national final. You mightn't always get as many opportunities as you might hope. So, but WA is settling again now, and we'll no doubt find a few more opportunities here.
Good to see Kath Connerty chipping in, our expert commentator from the under-15s. Fantastic to have you joining us. Great to see so many people online. Make sure you share it on Facebook. Get it out there on Facebook land. Let's get as many people as we possibly can do. having a look, supporting Australian lacrosse. We've got a cracker of a game on deck for you here. He's panting, pushes the corner. Great defence. The Victorian defence swarms. Wills corrals the loose ball, kicks the ball back around to Blair.
WA definitely being patient here, looking for the right openings. And Victoria playing some good solid D. Strong contact there by Gemma, and WA have picked up the loose ball.
WA just kicking the ball back around the top. Emily Wills over to Olivia Wills. The Wills girls looking to do some damage. Fantastic defence from Abby O'Mahony. As the ball kicks around back to X, panting, searching, looking for some movement up the top. The West Australians not moving their feet.
I think there's always that fine line in lacrosse of being patient and being stagnant, and you always want to keep the ball moving and keep the defence on their toes. And WA have got a good shot off there by keeping Victoria moving.
Livy Blair at X, looks to bring the ball around. Emma Graham steps the corner, drops the shoulder. Yeah, she's turned the ball over. A little too aggressive there on that attacking foray.
Yeah, a charge is always a hard call in the game. You never really know. They're pretty rare to get, and particularly with Abby held some good ground there and made a last-minute slide, and got a nice turnover.
Yeah, certainly there's a big height advantage there, so you could almost see where Graham was looking at.
Yeah,
you're right. The execution wasn't quite there, and Victoria are going to get an opportunity to consolidate on this one-goal lead. Kicks the ball across the top to Bonneyou with possession.
Victoria are very lucky to have a couple of lefties, which really bring a whole new dynamic to an offensive unit. I think, I've been lucky to play with a lot of lefties in my time, and it really does it really rounds out an offence. And Victoria is showing that already from Gemma and Bonnie being on that left crease, and just, bringing a whole new dimension to the attack.
Lefties certainly aren't boring, are they?
No, they definitely aren't. And, these kids, it's really exciting when you're about 2 years out from an Under-19 World Cup. You start to see where the Australian team's going to come from. And I think the level of play we're already seeing today is putting Australia in good stead for this next team.
Yeah, it's a pretty good indicator, isn't it, of what that next Under-19 team's going to look like.
Yeah.
And certainly no shortage of absolutely talented players out there at the moment. Certainly going to be putting this team in good stead.
And I think that's always been the benefit of Australian lacrosse, is that kids get to, play with adults and play with, I always got to play with my heroes when I was a kid. And it really, you kind of sink or swim. And I think that's what these kids, they, get to dominate at their junior level, and then they get to step up and play with the seniors and really learn. And I think that's why Australia's able to be so competitive, is because they, get to play against their Australian seniors as well.
Yeah, nothing like on-the-job training, is there?
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, with the step.
That's a nice little crease roll there by Tay. She's brought her defender up the elbow and then rolled right under for a nice bounce shot past the goalie.
Victoria scored their fourth goal. They've scored the last four on the trot. On a little bit of a run of their own. Western Australia are going to want to look to try and answer, and I think that starts here in the draw. Victoria have been absolutely killing the draws at the moment. They lead 5-1 in the middle.
Yeah, it's definitely that possession, as we said. WA got their first 2 goals really off unsettled situations, but Victoria's patience and possession is really starting to pay off now with their more settled goals and conversions.
See, already we can see a huge divergence from last year's final. I think Western Australia got out in front, managed to clear the air and really didn't turn back. And, of course, they're in danger of having the reverse happen here. Victoria scored 4 on the trot with the home crowd behind them. Western Australia definitely going to want to try and stem that flow a little bit.
Yeah, lacrosse is a game of runs, and you really want to minimise your opponent's opportunity to score multiple goals. It seems Victoria were able to break the back of WA's and have now gone on their own 4-goal run. And they've got centre possession here again.
Yeah, Jane White winning another one out of the middle for Victoria. They lead the draw 6-1 at the moment. Victoria look to settle deep into their offence again. at the top for Victoria, searching, having a look. Ruby Barnes dodging from goal line extended. Sea of West Australian defenders, though, kindly escort her from the fan. Ruby Barnes moves the ball back across the top. Over to Adamson. Adamson looks to drive. Western Australia shut down that foray. Certainly pretty attacking with their offence at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, Victoria doing a good job of really taking the heat, moving the ball, and then finding an open. And as we say that, they've literally done a textbook draw and dump. Gemma Hunter's done a nice lefty drive. The defence has slipped off Taylor Cometto, and Taylor's capitalised again. I think that might be her second for the game.
Yeah, second goal of the game. And Gemma Hunter, as you say, the tremendous feed. Hunter really turned the corner, drew the player, drew the extra defender, and Cometto found herself wide open on that bottom corner and stuck it clinically. As we have a timeout on the field, Victoria are on an absolute rampage, leading by a score of 5-2. As we just have a quick look at the Victorian team lineup, I mean, who out of this team today from the Victorians, if you had to pick one player who you think was the key to their chances of success, who do you think it would be, Hayley?
Oh, look, it's really hard. A lot of these girls, as I was saying before, a few play state league with me, but a lot of them actually do play state league at their own clubs, and I think centre possession is going to be a game breaker, as it is showing to be already. Victoria are quite lucky in the fact that they've got quite a few that can take the draw. We've got Jane White, Abby Omani and Zoe Allen, who also takes the draw. So really that's quite a good diverse range of drawers that, depending on what WA throw at them, I think if they can continue to capitalise on the space and time they seem to be giving themselves, they're going to give themselves the best opportunity to maintain the run they've already got in this game.
And on the West Australian front, anyone stand out at you as really needing to step up for them today?
Oh, I mean, you can't go past Carrie, really. You know, at the end of the day, she's got so much experience and her speed that I think she can blow apart a game if anyone gives her a chance. So I think if she makes Victoria's day a bit tough, it'll definitely be challenging. But as you said, all of the strength of WA is their consistency throughout their roster. So I think as long as everyone does their little bit, it'll be a tough game.
Stannis back in the middle for Victoria, taking on Madison Copeland. Ball loose. Western Australia look to corral a rare possession out of the middle. The ball still hotly in dispute at the moment as Mitchell looks to get front position. Stannis comes through, throwing her body. But the ball's going to go to Western Australia.
And Victoria have just got to watch this fast break here. They've let an attacker slip under the back of their defence. And if WA can hit this pass early, that could have been a fast break. But Victoria have been able to corral the ball back through the middle of transition.
Graham drops the hammer. Of course, Graham from the East Fremantle lacrosse club, one of the captains for the West Australians. Graham steps the corner, done him with a tremendous
save by Molly on the doorstep. Defence kind of let that one slip. Graham really carried that ball from the centre line around the back of the cage and back.
And ended up unpressured, didn't she?
And really just curled the crease without any real pressure.
Oh, Copeland fires wide left. Done him with a couple of big saves, but she's turned both of those saves over. Got stung on the first occasion, but probably lucky then to get away with that one there. Copeland putting a shot wide left.
Yeah, WA have been able to apply really early pressure to the goalkeeper, and that's the team's really got to keep an eye out on that and notice if your player slips off you, someone's got to go and help the goalie out. WA will now take some time, I think, to take a bit of the heat out of the game. You know, 3 goals down with 10 minutes to go in the first half. You kind of want to get a little bit of confidence, let everyone get a touch, and start to see what opens up.
Western Australia continue to force the issue here. Bailey Keenan, haven't seen a lot of her. Of course, she's Western Australia's leading goal scorer, along with Rhiannon Panting. So you're probably going to need Keenan and Panting to step up a little bit here, try and get into a little bit more of the action as Blair steps the corner. Rips the shot, but Dunham with another save for Victoria. That's her third of the game.
And that's a nice early clear. She's hit Taylor nice and early. And Victoria can hopefully try and capitalise here on transition. But WA have played some great pressure, turned it back, and we've got a little bit more settled situation now.
Sarah Davey just clearing the ball out for Victoria. She's looked up. She's found Gemma Hunter. Gemma Hunter with some space.
And
Save from Kate Churchwood.
And that's another unnecessary turnover here by Victoria. They didn't have someone behind quick enough. And, you just can't afford to have turnovers on a shot. You really don't want to have to turn the ball over after that sort of hard work. And now they're going to have to redefend again.
Yeah, big save there. Western Australia needed Churchwood to step up there and make that stop and not let this slip into a 4-goal margin. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share the page, get it out there. Let's get as many people watching as we can. Let us know how you think we're going. Let's get the people out there having a chat. Of course, you've got a barn burner on our hands at the moment. Victoria leading Western Australia 5-2. Of course, Western Australia, the tournament, undefeated tournament champions this year, running the round robins 5-zip, and also the defending championship holders. Just about tongue-tied myself. At Western Australia, Churchwood looking to slowly bring the ball up. Yeah, if you're just joining us, been a couple of cracking games already. Of course, the first game today saw Auckland take on the Presidents, and Auckland banged home the last 4 goals to pinch a great win over the Presidents by 1.
That's a great look. This clear down to Carrie. It's going to open up on a fast break, and Carrie's going to let that rip and put it straight past Mole.
Oh, someone get the pipe police on the phone. That is pipe abuse if I've ever seen it. Somerville ripping a massive shot for Western Australia, and boy oh boy did Western Australia need that.
They're the sort of transitions that it's really important, like I was saying about the athleticism that WA is renowned for. You can't let an attacker or a midi, such as Carrie, to get underneath you like that. The goalie found her perfectly. It wasn't there wasn't a pin-perfect pass, but Carrie was then able to run onto it, straight onto a one-on-one with the Victorian goalie.
Certainly helps when you're about a foot taller than everyone
else.
It
sure does, yep, it definitely does.
Yeah, Carrie Somerville, also an incredible field hockey player.
Yeah, she's actually in a tournament after this tournament, I believe, with the Hockeyroos, or the junior Australian women's hockey team. She's a dual sport athlete. I was lucky enough to actually play with Georgie Parker when I was in my under-19 program, and she went on to be an Olympian with the Hockeyroos. So hopefully we can hold Carrie in lacrosse a little longer, but it's pretty amazing when you're a dual sport athlete.
I certainly know there's a hell of a lot of people at the Subiaco Lacrosse Club and back across the Nullarbor who will certainly agree with that sentiment. She is a superstar in the making. As Western Australia had an opportunity then to score their 4th goal, but Victoria have managed to turn the ball over, and they end up back deep into their attacking half as they continue to kick the ball around. Hunter with the ball. Over the back to Cometto. Looking to push the ball. Being defended by Copeland. Looks to pass it up to Stannis, but she's been covered by Emma Graham. Hunter with the ball in the bottom left. Great defence. Keenan gets her stick in the way. It's a loose ball, hotly contested. Victoria have had the rub of these so far, but Keenan comes up with possession for Western Australia. Churchwood forgets the ball, but manages to recover and has time to clear for Western Australia. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Victoria leading by a score of 5-3. Tune in. Let us know your comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you're going for. Who do you think? Do you think Western Australia is going to be able to come back on this one? As Western Australia looking at Churchwood, looking to push the ball out. The Subiaco products had a tremendous day out.
They're looking for the another pass to Carrie, and it looks like it might come off here again. And she does. She capitalises again. Almost a carbon copy of the previous goal WA were able to convert on, and I think it's really important that Victoria's shift to cover that cut from Carrie, because otherwise she could be doing this all day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure she's enjoying it as well.
Oh, yeah, judging from the last 2-3 minutes, she's getting them back into the game. But what a tremendous outlet from Churchwood. That's obviously a Subiaco connection there. The two of them played the State League for the up-and-coming Subiaco Lacrosse Club back out in WA. It'll be interesting to see where they figure in our Premier Power Rankings, which are due out in the next week or so. You reckon you can overtake Brighton at the top of that table, Hayley?
Oh, well, we hope so. I think it's always exciting going into the next season to see not only how it'll open up at club level, but then as we head into the Nationals, which is only a few weeks away as well. So, we're just excited to get our season started next weekend.
Who do you play first up?
We've got the grand final rematch against
Oh,
Footscray.
that's always a cracker, isn't it?
Yes, that's always really exciting. So we're excited to get back out there. I think a lot of the Aussie players in particular have been training a lot for the last 3 years. So it'll be good to get a few more games into our already hectic schedule, but just get out on the park a little
Why
bit.
not? Just a little bit more.
Well,
Add it
why
to the
not add
pile.
another session,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But Victoria resettling here now with a little bit of patience. It's a 1-goal game, and
Emma Graham with the big stop. Emma Graham, a potential long-term player for Western Australia, heading out to St Francis next year.
yeah, that's really exciting. I think it's great to see so many of our girls heading over to college and getting that experience. It's only not only beneficial for them as individuals, but also lacrosse in their state and in Australia.
Dunham comes up with another big save for Victoria. She's had 4 saves in this first half as Somerville comes to corner. Just waiting for the call to come in. Somerville's going to have an opportunity here, Western Australia, to try and knot this one up in the dying stages of the first half.
Yeah, we're under 2 minutes here now. Maybe even closer to 30 seconds by the look of the ref on the sidelines.
It's really important that Victoria hold here if they want to try and maintain that 1-goal lead. Going into half-time with a 1-goal buffer certainly would do Victoria the world of good.
Yeah, it's definitely, really, as any coach will tell you going into the second half, you always want to mentally go back to 0-0, but if you can have, as much as one goal above, it definitely doesn't hurt.
Somerville again looking to climb WA back into this game. Unleashes the shot, and that's her 3rd goal.
And we did say probably about 10 minutes ago that if WA wanted to get back into the game, Carrie would need to step up, and she's done exactly that.
Yeah, look, the penalty, the foul was obviously called. She had herself a free shot from effectively where she was. And realistically, anywhere from in the fan, Somerville's going to be dangerous, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a real rocker, which she showed both on those fast breaks and in that conversion of the free position shot. Victoria have really got to step up on her early, both in transition and even more so when she's got the ball in attack.
Australia just scrambling as Yu heads further into the offensive half. He ends up next to Emma Graham. Ball hotly in dispute. Stannis looks to get a little piece of it.
That's a great ground ball there by Isabella Murphy. Victoria really need a crucial possession there, and she's been able to do that for them. There's only a few seconds left on the clock by the look, so it'll be interesting if Victoria run it out or if they... No, and the clock gets them. So we're going into half-time with a nice, tight contest of 5-all.
Well, let's just reset the ledger, why don't we? Want everyone starting again from fresh? Let's just play one half now. Everything that just happened doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But,
pretty much. I think the first half's really about nerves, and like I said, last year's final, WA would able to make a jump early and kind of hang on to that in that second half. But I think both teams have been able to hold their nerve as much as stay in contact with on the scoreboard. And yeah, we're now going in with an even ledger for the second half.
Well, as we head into half-time, just a quick recap of the goal scorers. And Western Australia jumped out to an early 2-zip lead, but Victoria being 5 unanswered. But Western Australia had a little run of their own. Well, Carrie Somerville had a little run of her own, scoring 3 straight there. But as we look at the goal scorers for Victoria, Ruby Barnes has 1, Georgia Latch has 2, and Taylor Gametto has 2. And for Western Australia, Carrie Somerville with a hat-trick in the first half. Shannon Mitchell and Olivia Wills are the individual goal scorers. So look, we're going to take a really short break, but stay tuned. We're not going to go on for too long because we're going to have a good chat to Hayley about the preparations for Australia's upcoming World Cup. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network.
That's my producer in action.
Alrighty.
Hey, Braddles.
Alrighty, we'll go out in the ground now.
All right.
I'll ask you your thoughts briefly in the first half.
Yeah, cool. I have I've got my Victoria shirt on.
suck. Welcome back to the Altona Lacrosse Club in the 2017 Under-18 National Championships, and I'm joined by my co-host, Hayley Stefanos. Hayley, 5-all. What did you think out of the first half?
Yeah, what an exciting first half. WA won on that early 2-0 run, and then Victoria were able to really capitalise on their hard work in the centre and their patience in attack and go on their 5-0 run. And then literally after we spoke about Carrie Somerville, she kind of threw WA on her back and scored 3 of her own, and I think it's really set up a really exciting second half.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an absolute cracker, and as I said, if it's anything like the first 2 games we saw today, hopefully we get another 1-goal barn burner. So, yeah. But enough of that. But congratulations though, the Australian making another Australian team. Like, you got the World Cup coming up. How excited are you?
Yeah, really excited. We're under 3 months now, so it feels like we've been training forever, and now we're into about 10 weeks to go. So the hard work's starting to pay off, and now we can just start preparing to take on the world.
So how is the preparation going? I mean, you're obviously president at Newport, so you've got to be the busiest woman in lacrosse. But how's the preparation going?
Yeah, it's definitely a busy year. Training-wise, it's a heavy load, particularly at the moment. We're kind of in our last phase of full heavy lifting, lots of real grunt runs, way too many 200s for my liking. Thanks anyway, Hoops. But, it's good. So we probably train, we've got 3 runs a week, 3 lifts a week. Then you've got, 1 or 2 club training sessions, 1 or 2 Vic-based Australian sessions, and now games are starting. So we're looking at, 10 to 12 sessions in a week. So it's a lot, but, that's why we do it. We do it because we love it, and, you've got to do that when you want to play against the best in the world. Oh, absolutely. And it's really, the women's program is probably our most successful national team at the moment. How good was your US tour last year and being able to play the opposition that you played? Yeah, that was a really great opportunity. We were able to play the top 3 teams, or top 4 teams in the world. The US really set the tone there. We were able to get on top of Canada, which was great, and get a little bit of redemption on England after we lost to them in our series last June. But again, really great preparation. I'm not sure we've really had that opportunity before heading into a World Cup, and it's always great. Whilst all teams will be at a completely different level come July this year, it is nice to see where you were at in relation to everyone else. You paid a visit to the Under Armour factory. How much stuff did you take out of there? Yeah, that's really cool. We're pretty lucky to be decked out in some of the best gear with Under Armour, and so that was awesome to see the way they run things there, and really cool to be in Baltimore and the hub of UA. Yeah. Now, obviously, you say under 3 months now, the clock's ticking. What's the plan for the next couple of months? Yeah, now it's just still keep lots of working hard. Got to look after our bodies, make sure, staying on top of injuries and rehab and recovery. Sometimes that's almost just as important as the actual workouts that we're putting in. So, now it's just the excitement. We get to start playing a few more games. Nationals isn't far away. So there's a lot more lacrosse versus training now, which is really fun. Now, the most important thing, have you planned what you're going to do once the World Cup's over? Once it's all said and done? Well, after the World Cup, we're going to the World Games in Poland, so which is a precursor to the Olympics. So that's really exciting. And then after that, I've got about 4 days before I've got to fly home. So me and a couple of the girls are trying to find a Greek island somewhere we can relax on, but we don't have too much time before we've got to get back to reality. Yeah. So it'll be good. Well, look, on behalf of everybody that I'm sure is no doubt watching or will watch this video and who follow us on the Australian Lacrosse Network, we're certainly going to be pulling for you. All the very best. Hopefully you do really, really well over there and bring us back a nice shiny medal. Yeah, thank you so much. No worries. All right, well, thanks a lot, Hayley, for spending some time with us during halftime. We're going to thaw out for a second as this chilly Melbourne breeze, which I never get used to, starts to pick up. And then we're going to be back with all the second half action on the Australian Lacrosse Network. Thanks for tuning in. Go grab a quick drink. We'll be back shortly. Can you hear my sweet, sweet whispers?
Is this one a step? Welcome back to the Altona Lacrosse Club for the second half of the Under-18 Women's National Championship. We're all locked away at 5 and we have an absolute barn burner. Just a health check, just check in with our cameraman, Sean Aaron. Shawnee, how you feeling up there?
It's a little chilly, but we're doing all right.
Tip, mate, who do you think's going to bring it home in the second half?
Got to go with the Victorians.
Traitor. All right. I'm surrounded by Victorians. I can't win here anywhere. Well, Sparksy, but that's all right. That's one thing. Anyway, we're back in the centre for the second half action. Make sure you jump on the Facebook page, share it. We've got 25 minutes left, and this is going to be an absolute cracker. So get everybody. I know no one back in Perth's doing anything, so make sure you get on the blower. And well, nothing good happens back in Perth anyway, so we're doing nothing much. So get back on the blower. Get everyone. Tell them to get on Facebook, stream this live, comment, let us know you're watching. Hayley's doing a tremendous job in expert commentary with me here.
I'm excited for this second half now. A little bit nervous myself, but should be a good one.
Stanison, Copeland in the middle. Copeland takes the draw control for Western Australia.
Yeah, they've called an early draw there on Zoe Allen. It's quite hard on the centre draw. I'm sure it's the same in men's. You've really got to be on the whistle, if not, maybe marginally before it, and sometimes it can cause a turnover.
Oh, look, absolutely. You've got to be anticipating that whistle. As Copeland steps the corner, Dunham with a 5th save of the game. That's a huge start. But, of course, if you ask any true centreman, Hayley, no one ever breaks. The referees just always get it wrong.
Definitely. No, it's definitely an art to it. We're lucky both in Victoria and Australia to have probably one of the best drawers in the world in Stacey Morlang, and she's been around not only the Australian team but also our juniors, helping them out. And Dunham's made another save there on the back of a good turnover by WA.
Wills recovers possession for Western Australia. She's going to get the ball back. The player down just to the right of our position. That's Bailey Rose Keenan. She's going to come off the field for Western Australia.
Not sure what happened there. Must have been something slightly off camera.
Probably just some inadvertent stick contact, maybe. It is freezing here, so I'm sure that's going to make things a hell of a lot worse. But hey, Sean, we're going to find out and see if we can thaw out Sean up in the camera position, and we might be able to do we might be able to live stream the closing ceremony for everybody back home. So yeah, just as an added treat, why not? We're already frozen, so we'll keep that one going for you. But Western Australia with possession now. I'm sure Sean will join me in hoping that perhaps it's Western Australia lifting the trophy. Hayley disagrees.
I think this second half will really be about who can hold their composure here. We spoke a lot about patience in offence and in defence in the first half, and I think whichever team can do that the most and then capitalise on their opportunities, we'll probably see this game out.
Western Australia had a nice long possession here. Blair comes to corner, hasn't hit the scoreboard yet, had 3, but Barnes turns on the Jets and picks up a great ground ball through the middle. Can't quite take complete control of it though, but the ball's still hotly in dispute. Picked up by Hunter. Hunter's in the open space, and Victoria have a 3-on-1, but Somerville makes it a 3-on-2 for WA. And they're going to steady that 4A forward for Victoria.
Yeah, that's great defence there by WA. Victoria really could have opened that up there, but WA really closed down any options they had and have forced Victoria into a more settled offence.
The ball kicks around the back.
Victoria did a good job of being, I guess, the more settled offensive unit in the first half, and I would think that they would look to do that again in this second half.
Georgia Latch with the ball. She's got 2 already. Turns on the Jets. Drive for another huge shot, but Churchwood's up to the occasion. She's got her 5th save of the game.
Yeah, that was a nice save. Georgia looked to let it rip there, and Honeychurch was able to step up and make a great save.
Got a great little jump shot, doesn't she?
Yeah, she really does. Fun to watch.
Unless you're the goalkeeper.
Yeah, true.
Panting with the goal, and Western Australia are back in front. They've drawn first blood in this second half. Panting with the goal, and Western Australia reclaim the lead. They lead 6-5.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity that WA have capitalised on there. Victoria almost converted themselves in a huge save, and WA have put it on the scoreboard back down the other end.
Yeah, Will's really turned on the Jets there, got himself in some space, drew the defender nicely, and a great take and finish by Panting. Really important goal for Western Australia as they look to continue the momentum that they had to close off the first half. They lead at 6-5.
Yeah, they've got the last 4 goals here now, so Victoria probably haven't scored in about half an hour now, so they'll definitely want to make sure they get themselves on the scoreboard, not only to stay in the game, but to just get some confidence back in their offence too.
Ball up in the air, hotly in dispute. Copeland against Stannis again, and Copeland's got the ball, and she's got numbers if she can find them. Copeland rips the shot, but Dunham with the great save. The ball still hotly in dispute. Western Australia get the ball back through Panting. Panting back rolls. Hits Olivia Wills at the top, looks inside. Georgia Ray with the cut. Blair struggling to get possession back. Ball still down. She's going to get it back though, Libby Blair for Western Australia. Really important that Victoria try and seize this momentum and get one back.
Yeah, Victoria doing a good job of applying some pressure, but WA just capitalising on getting any loose balls. And Victoria have really got to make sure that if the ball hits the deck, particularly in defence, they make sure that ball's theirs. Otherwise, WA are going to have a lot more possession, which is not what you want.
Libby Blair. A goal line extended for Western Australia. Takes the ball to X. Back rolls. Ably defended there by Jane White, who's really shown a terrific all-round game this tournament. Hit far corner. Western Australia turn the corner. Dunham with another save. Another 2 saves in the space of 2 seconds. The ball's still down in dispute.
They're too big save by Molly just then. It's fallen out, and WA looked to have picked up a nice little foul. But yeah, great doorstop saves by Molly.
She is fired up as well. She looks like she belongs in the cage. It's like she wants that contact. Wills turns the corner, hits Copeland. 2 new East Fremantle players this year. Hits across to Ray. Ray's got some space. Looks to try and get the shot, but terrific defence.
Yeah, strong D there by Omani. And again here by Jane. It's really important, as I've been saying, is to get early contact in defence and make it really hard for the attack to not only find a dodge, but also an open pass.
Panting across the top for Western Australia. They really have dominated possession early in the second half. Really started to try and take control back in the middle.
Yeah, and they're definitely showing more composure in attack with their possessions as well. Which is a really formidable combination. If you can get the ball and then utilise it, it's pretty hard to stop.
Libby Wills has done a mountain of work for Western Australia so far. Over to Panting, the other captain of Western Australia, being ably defended by Zoe Ellen Stannis. Panting looking to try and create, searching for that free player. Has someone backdoor if she can find him. Moves the ball back around to Copeland. Copeland steps inside, got space, rips one low. Maddie Copeland with her first of the game, and Western Australia's 7th.
That was a nice move there by Maddie. She drove, engaged the defence, took a step back and was able to re-engage while the defence kind of was on their back foot, and then she let it rip low with a nice finish there past Dunham.
There's an incredible crop of youngsters coming through, isn't there, with Maddie Copeland, I think Georgia Latch, Bonnie Yule, lower, young, they're still underage players, aren't they?
They are, yeah, they're really young kids, and it's really exciting. I'm sure their club teams are loving having a lot of youth coming through, not only their junior teams and into their senior teams, but then it's obviously carrying over into the national championships too. And as we've already said, with the under-19 championships just over 18 months away, these girls will get another opportunity to play together.
Good to see some girls from some other clubs as well, particularly figuring at least from a Victorian standpoint.
Yeah.
You've obviously got your 4 big powerhouse women's clubs, but to see names like Camberwell and Malvern and Chadstone and all of them sort of sprinkled in amongst, it's got to be good for the Victorian competition as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the State League competition's only between 4 teams. It has been for about 10 years now. And that's a great finish while we're having a little chat there. WA have really opened up this game in the start of the second half with a nice fast break goal and finished there by Panting.
Panting with her second goal of this second half. Out of the middle as well. Western Australia really turned it around from the draw controls. Copeland back in the middle. But Panting gets herself just under the defence there, and that's all the space. That's something that the Victorians that they're going to want to talk about in there at the moment is the West Australians seem to be getting in behind the defence. Do they need to make an adjustment defensively to stop that from happening?
Yeah, and look, that's how we saw Carrie get 2 of her goals in the first half was, the defence letting her get under and letting the goalie get a pass over the top, and it's happening here again. Victoria obviously going hard at the ball, which is great, but you really need to be aware of where your opponent is, because if that ball does fumble away from you, we're seeing these fast breaks open up probably a little bit too easily, and just shots that you don't want to leave your goalie, having to make in a final.
Yeah. Oh, look, and they're going to have to try and get that ascendancy back in the middle of the ground as well, aren't they? I mean, WA have turned that tide.
Yeah, and look, we saw, Victoria have possession from the centre and then possession in offence in the first half, and they were able to really utilise that, and WA have really stepped that up. They're really reclaiming centre possession, and they're also making the most of their possession in attack.
Yeah, that's gone from about 6-1 in favour of Victoria to 8-7 in favour of Victoria, so they've certainly started to take control in the middle again, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely, and you see that on the scoreboard really, as we were saying, the tighter the centre possessions are, whilst you can get a few turnovers in defence, with an 8-5 scoreline, the centre possessions almost, directly reflect that as well.
Yeah. So back in the middle again. Zoe Stannis in the middle. Maddie Copeland for Western Australia. These two have been toiling away at it for a little while now as the ball's still on dispute.
It's good hustle there by Gemma Hunter. Really just gritting it out in the possession there and coming away with a little foul. You definitely want to make clean possessions, and we're flicking at it a bit there, and you don't want to give anyone a second chance to get the ball off you. So
great to see so many people tuning in on the Facebook coverage. All you need to do is hit the share button, get it out to all your friends, let them know that we are live today. As this women's championship match is going to reach its crescendo, Western Australia leading by a score of 8-5, 6 unanswered for Western Australia to turn a 3-goal deficit into a 3-goal lead. As Taylor Cometto comes to corner.
Victoria just need to be patient here. 3 goals, whilst it is, a hefty lead, it's certainly not impossible. And Georgia Latch, as we're talking, has narrowed that to 2 with a great feed from Jane White, and just put that back in the net to bring the Vics within 2.
Game most definitely still on as Jane White, again, a rave about her all-round game, finds Georgia Latch cutting on the inside, and Latch to be able to take the ball with no angle and be able to change it over to her right, create the angle, and then rip it past Churchwood. Tremendous finish. That's her 3rd of the game.
Yeah, Georgia's potent. She's, as you said, one of the youngest in this team, and she's been playing State League in Victoria for a few years now, and she certainly gives us a few headaches, and I'm no doubt she'll be even more of a threat this year. So it's really exciting to see these young kids really be a force to reckon with, punching out of their weight bracket as well.
Yeah. Oh, look, it would bode well. You'd imagine that there'd be colleges knocking down the door to get their hands on at least, 3 or 4 of the girls that are playing in this team.
Yeah, you definitely think so. Hopefully they're tuning in today to see them in action.
Absolutely. Well, we had a viewer in Kuwait earlier, so we are international. Yeah, jump in. Let us know where you're watching. Let us know.
And another great centre possession there by Gemma Hunter. The balls are kind of becoming 50-50 contests, and it's really important that you capitalise on those.
As Jane White drops the shoulder, looks to try and cut the margin. Jane White rips one back as Hayley gives it the old fist pump.
Oh, my girl Jade, I can't help it.
I wasn't going to let you get away with that one.
That was a really great drive. Jade is super fast. She gets a little bit over me getting excited for her when she scores. As I said, she plays state league with me, and I just love it when you see the kids step up like that. And now it's a 1-goal game.
Certainly to do it on the big stage. She gets a little bit of space, splits two would-be defenders, and rips one into the corner off the deck.
And that height, as we said with Carrie before, it's pretty hard to stop someone when they're taller than you, and Jane really showed that again there.
I'm loving this bouncy Melburnian turf as well. I can't remember the last time you'd be able to rip the ball off the deck and hit the top pipe.
Yeah, the fields showed up pretty well for this week. Obviously the boys tear it up a bit more than the girls, but without the rain, it kind of hardens it up a bit and makes it, as you said, a little bit more turf-like than grass.
No, it certainly did. And kudos at this stage to Altona. They've put on an absolutely fantastic and ripping tournament this week. I think we've thoroughly enjoyed it. And, we certainly have had one of the best setups that we've had as the ALN. Nice and elevated position here.
Yeah, we've definitely got the box seats here.
Oh, haven't we? This is just we just need the cocktail waiters to come out and bring us our pigs in blanket, and then
a warm fire.
Of course, and a warm fire. Maybe a nip of sherry. Of course, this is the under 18, so we're not allowed to. Emma Graham's got some space. Western Australia need to respond here just to try and maintain the momentum as Victoria starting to get on a rampage. Under 20 to go in this game. Copeland with the ball across the top to Wills. Wills looks for Keenan, but Keenan shut down. Rips it across the top. Jane White shutting down Keenan. They obviously identify Keenan as a real threat. Libby Blair having a look. She's had a really good game at X. Hasn't hit the scoreboard yet, but has been controlling the offence for Western Australia. Continues to kick the ball around Western Australia. Libby Blair looks to ask the questions of the Victorian defence. Goes through, taken out. She's going to get another look.
It's really important for both teams here to hold their nerve, obviously with such a tight game, going deep into the second half now. It's a team that can hold their nerve, withstand a few runs from the opposition, and then hopefully put a few scores on in the back of the net is who you would think would come out here. So it's just about being patient, taking the right opportunities, seeing the right options, and letting the game come to them, really.
Libby Blair rips one wide left, but I think Dunham was up to the task. It's Copeland bringing the ball back in for Western Australia. She's got Graham high, finds Graham. Graham changes direction. Has a look. Certainly Hughes giving away a little bit of height there, but playing tremendous defence as she escorts Graham from the fan. Western Australia still having a look. Somerville goes for the backdoor cut. There's a few of them trying to get in on the action as Blair takes the ball up the side, kicks the ball over the top to Wills. Keenan's looking to try and get free. They're going to try and pull a switcheroo. Gets panting up into attack. Interesting little move there. Western Australia using the offside to their advantage there. Wills back across the top to Wills. Takes the ball to X. Again, searching Western Australia. Quite a prolonged, patient offensive set, this one.
And that's the thing, defensively you get frustrated when an attack unit is patient, and it's important that the Victorians don't do that when they're in defence for long periods of time, that they stay patient, stay on the fan, let the plays come to them. Sometimes when a defence push out too far, you can really create a play for an offence, and you don't want to do that.
Copeland gets the ball back. Great defence though from Victoria. Graham picks the ball up. Just looking through the comments. Great call, Trish. Trying to keep Hayley under control here, but I'm struggling. As Graham comes through. Dunham with another big save. That's her 9th save of the day. She's been huge for Victoria in this one. Unleashes a bomb. They're going to want to be careful. They can't afford to let Latch get behind at X, but tremendous defence from Western Australia. Latch is still going though, and she's going to win the ball here for Victoria.
Great hustle by Georgia there.
That is a pure hustle play. As Latch pushes the ball deep into the attacking half, takes the ball at X.
Victoria will hopefully take some time here to just take a bit more heat out of the game. They haven't had much possession with WA running a good unit there. So the girls will look to get the ball around here, make the defence kind of come to them, as we said, in the opposite of what you'd want to be doing yourself. Bonnie's taken the drive, and WA have done a good job to hold her out there.
That's with the ball at X, being defended by Copeland. These two went at it last year at the under-15s. Copeland playing some tremendous defence. Good body position as Latch turns on the Jets. Tries to get herself some space and rips one high. Victoria searching, prodding, looking. Under 15 minutes to go in this one. We've got a classic on our hands here, so stay tuned.
Victoria have got back up that time, which is good to see. Gemma's reset with the ball. Zoe Allen's taken a nice drive, and WA have played some really great defence to push them back out.
Gives the ball back to Stannis. Stannis being defended by Wills here. Stannis from Caulfield looking to try and damage the scoreboard. Looks inside. Kameto's got some space, and Kameto.
I was just about to say, Zoe Allen plays State League at Caulfield with obviously one of our most storied goalies, Sue McSullivan. And she's an exciting young kid that definitely caused a lot of trouble when we play against him, and it's exciting to see her create a great play there and find Taylor in the middle.
Yeah, great finish, wasn't it? Great look through. As you can see, Stannis coming around the corner there, being able to then hold up, composed enough to thread the needle and find Kameto with a tremendous cut in her own right. Great take, great finish. Churchwood's no slouch as Victoria tie this one up. This one is a game of runs. Victoria have all the momentum at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's important both teams continue to work hard for those centre possessions and continue to be patient in attack. We saw WA really blow it open in that first half with some fast breaks, so Victoria will be looking to stop that. And Victoria just need to be patient and ensure they don't create anything for WA in defence.
Stannis back in the middle for Victoria. Graham in the middle for Western Australia. This is a critical draw. Under 15 to go. Panting drops perhaps what she should have taken, but Graham's there to bail her out as Graham turns on the Jets, looks to get a bit of speed up.
Really strong work there by Graham, taking a few hits there from Victorians and able to come out of that with a nice little foul.
Yeah, she's certainly someone that's benefited. She was part of East Fremantle's State League winning side last year, and she's certainly, as you say, benefited from playing with some of the girls back over in Western Australia. The Jess Kennedys and the Tiga Browns and the Tessa Atkinsons and all of them.
Yeah, it really makes a difference, I think, as we were saying earlier, from the kids. Sometimes it definitely is out of their comfort zone, but, after a little while they get used to it. They get used to taking some knocks from the big girls, and then when they step out into their own division, you see how much stronger and more experienced they are from taking those risks with the seniors. And that's a huge save from Molly there on the doorstep. Panting was almost left really wide open, and Molly really stepped up to the plate with a great save.
Slipped inside the Victorian defence there, had all the time in the world, but Dunham up to the task with another big save. That's her 10th.
They're big numbers for a goalie in any day, let alone in a final. And Molly just needs to stay composed here and keep making the saves as she sees them.
8-all. The keeper check, still probably about 11 minutes left in this one. Of course, Victoria looking to do the double here on home soil. If you're just joining us, the Victorian men have taken out the men's championship, dispatching South Australia 20-8. Dominant display from the Victorians earlier today. And Victoria certainly looked to cause, I think, what would be an upset here if they can beat the undefeated Western Australians. Victoria with possession, over to Latch. Latch kicks it back to Kameto. Of course, she was the last goal scorer, tied it up for the Victorians. Up to Latch, being defended by Shannon Mitchell from Wembley.
WA send almost a triple team there to Georgia, and able to really keep her out there.
Latch comes to corner, threads the ball across the top. Ball dropped though by Hollenkamp. Ball on the deck. Copeland looked to pick the ball up. Copeland looked to try and break out and get into the open. The ball's certainly hotly in dispute. White's in prime possession. White takes possession of the ball back. Let's see what the call is there.
It looked like Jane kind of just covered the ball lightly there in order to control it, and they've called a cover and giving the ball back to WA.
All the West Australians watching completely agree with that
Yeah.
call. Somerville out
Not
in the
saying
open.
it's a bad one.
Dangerous times for the rest.
And they've capitalised in transition through carry again.
That's a huge call midfield. Somerville with her 4th goal of the day. Western Australia end Victoria's run of 3 straight, and they are back in front by a goal. She's just so dangerous out in the open field, isn't she?
Yeah, you can't give Carrie any space as a defence. You know, she's really doing her part for her team and capitalising on the space that Victoria are giving her. Or may probably unintentionally, but you know, with being so fast, as we said, you really can't give someone that much room to move, because otherwise she's just going to continue to give the team a bit of a headache.
Well, what do you do other than try and park 2 people in front of the goals? I mean, she's so big and strong that she gets into open space. Doesn't matter, even if you try and lock her off, she's just going to blow you away.
Yeah, it's hard as a midi or even just being as athletic as Carrie is to do a denial as you would do probably on more a straight attacking player.
Yeah.
So it's really just one of those things. You just got to have someone run with her all day and make sure you don't have a lapse and let her get those opportunities.
Well, that's 4 goals for Somerville now as Panting brings the ball to X. She's got wheels if she wants her. Panting being defended by White. I think White's going to be pinged here. Panting's going to have an opportunity here. She's got some space, kicks the ball over to Wills. Wills drops their shoulder, tries to look for an opening over the top to Copeland. Copeland splits the defender. She's got some space if she wants it. Good patience, kicks the ball out the back to Blair. We're under 10 minutes here in the final. Western Australia nursing a 1-goal lead. Blair comes to the corner, looking to hit the scoreboard. Done it with another big save.
Be interesting to see how WA continue to play out their offensive. Obviously, we've got still quite a bit of time left, but you don't want to start stalling, but you also don't want to take opportunities that probably aren't, you know, really high percentage. And Victoria's the same, really. When it's within a goal and there's not much time left in the second half, you want to make sure that every opportunity you take is high percentage.
Western Australia with the important turnover there. Copeland has possession for Western Australia, and there's another call. We might have a... No, I thought we were seeing a card. No, jumping the gun. Copeland with possession for Western Australia. She's got some space here. She's got Graham and she's got Blair if she's good enough, if she can find them.
If WA can go hard enough here, they can probably find a man-up opportunity here. But Victoria seemed to have gotten underneath in time to
really good defense.
Cause a little bit more of a settled situation.
Yeah, they covered that off really well, didn't they? Just waiting for the call here. Some shenanigans at the top of the fan.
Yeah, it looked like it was a off-ball push by Georgia Latch, just trying to detain one of the players as she was cutting through, so they've now got a free position shot.
And Wills makes no mistake, and Western Australia jump back out by 2 goals. Huge goal there in the context of this game with under 5 minutes to play. Western Australia jump out to a 2-goal lead. Emily Wills there on the free position shot. She had some space.
Yeah,
the shot selection needed a bit of work. Off stick side high. Great finish.
Yeah, that's a big goal there. Really important goal for WA, and Victoria will be looking to ensure they really get centre possession here. With under 5 minutes to go, they'll want to ensure that WA don't get the ball, as I assume they'll try and burn the clock a bit. So the Vics really need to get back within 1 to apply that scoreboard pressure.
White back in the middle against Graham for Western Australia. Really important draw control here. Victoria are going to get the ball. Graham looks like she jumped.
Yeah, those early breaks that we were talking about before, whilst it's definitely not intentional by the centre players, sometimes it's a hard one, and Victoria on the other side of the call. So Jane with the ball here. Got a little bit of space. Ooh.
Jane White with the shot. Hotly contested.
And
Wills has got the ball back for Western Australia. That's the 3rd one that Victoria has given up.
Yeah, probably a little bit too rushed there. You wouldn't want to, as we said, we want to be patient and wear down the clock. And with 5 minutes to go, you probably want to ensure that we get a better shot than that. But Jane obviously saw an opening there, and WA did a good job of blocking that up. But it looks like we might have a turnover.
White's going to be given the ball here for Victoria. I'm not sure what's happened back there, but I'm sure the Victorian crowd is not complaining.
Yeah, a bit of a lucky break there, but I'm sure the Vics will take it and hopefully have a little bit more composure here and find that right shot.
Latch kicks the ball high. Over to Cometto, over to her. Back at X with White. And Victoria with the turnover. Hunter couldn't quite take control of the ball there, and Western Australia are going to take the ball at X deep into the Victorian attacking half, looking to try and clear the ball. The ball's with Keenan. Hasn't had the impact that I'm sure she would have wanted on the scoreboard today for Western Australia. She's had a great week though.
Yeah, Victoria really want to lock down here and make sure WA don't get this back in their attacking third. As we said, WA probably look to burn a bit of the clock, and Victoria want to make sure they don't have that opportunity to do so.
Graham kicks the ball back. The big two back there, Graham and Somerville back there for Western Australia, as Somerville looks to turn on the Jets. Splits two would-be defenders, and Western Australia have cleared the ball. 2 minutes, under 5 to go, about 3.5 left in this one. Stay tuned, stay on your medium device. Live on Facebook, make sure you share this page. Let's get everyone going for the last few minutes of this cracker.
Yeah, it's officially hit under 2 minutes to go now, so Victoria really need to get out there and apply pressure and cause a turnover of some sort.
Jump online, let us know who you think your MVP is of this one. Certainly plenty of time left in this one, but Carrie just about have to be MVP at this stage, wouldn't she, Hayley?
Oh, yeah, look, I think at those crucial points when we spoke about who needed to step up, Carrie's done exactly that. 4 goals, including that 3-goal run in that first half is pretty hard to beat.
As Copeland looks to split through the middle, she's lost the ball. She's trying to fight to get the ball back. Copeland's gone down. And a great show of sportsmanship. Hunter's just checking to see if Copeland's all right as Copeland gets up. Looks like she might have just copped one on the ankle or rolled an ankle. Australia lead this one by 10-2. Sparksy. Sorry for the technical glitch there. Not that we wanted to ruin the last 2 minutes of the game. Hard to find good help here at the ALN.
It's really important that Victoria, in order to get the ball back, apply good, solid defensive pressure. You don't want to let any more fouls out, and WA just want to keep running and keep the ball moving and just make it hard for Victoria to run out this game.
Libby Blair with possession for Western Australia. You say you can turn a game on a dime here if you give Victoria a sniff. Libby Blair with possession, kicks the ball over the back to Emily Wills. Looking for movement on the bench, still no clock on yet. We will be sure to let you know when we see some action as Wills with possession for Western Australia. Goal line extended, being defended by Latch.
And we're under 30 seconds now.
The clock is well and truly up, people. Somerville with possession. Probably the safest set of hands that Western Australia could hope for as Yu looks to push. Somerville turns on the Jets, gets herself into some open space. Clock is on at the moment for Western Australia. They're on the brink of going back to back.
WA doing a great job here of Carrie's doing a great job here of running the ball out, but that's exactly what they need to do, and it looks like they're... And that's time.
That's it. Western Australia are your 2018 champions. They've defended their title from back in Perth in 2016, and they have run out 10-8 winners over what must be said an absolutely valiant Victoria. Take a breath, Hayley. Any comments?
That was a really great contest. I think that first half was full of runs, and as was the second half, and WA were just able to hold their nerve just that little bit better and capitalise when they needed to late in that second half.
Yeah, they certainly did a great job. Victoria certainly had the running there when they jumped out to a 5-2 lead, but 6 unanswered goals from Western Australia certainly rested that back. And then they obviously had to withstand, like you say, that last comeback from Victoria to square it away. As we just run through the goal scorers for you, but for Western Australia, their 10 goals, 4 to Carrie Somerville in an absolutely tremendous performance. Rhiannon Panting with 2 goals for Western Australia. And then there were singles to Maddie Copeland, Emily Wills, Olivia Wills and Shannon Mitchell. And for Victoria, Georgia Latch had an absolutely spectacular game, dropping some absolute bombs from the outside as she scored 3 goals for Victoria. Taylor Cometto had 3 goals as well, another hat-trick for her too for Victoria. And there were singles to Jane White and Ruby Barnes. Look, for Victoria, your MVP?
Oh, look, I think, Georgia had some really great goals, and as did Taylor, but I'm not sure you can go past a 10 or 11 save game to Molly Dunham in a, unfortunately losing final, but 11 saves. There's not much more she could have done there, so she'd probably have to be my MVP today.
All right, well, look, we're just going to take a really short break here, and we're going to duck out and see if we can get an interview with a couple of the winners. But before we go, look, Hayley, I just wanted to say thank you very, very much for coming out and helping us out, and your expert commentary certainly helped me out a hell of a lot. So
thank you so much for having me. What an exciting game to be a part of.
And best of luck for Newport this weekend. Stay healthy.
Yes, thank you.
And all the best for the World Championships. We will all certainly be watching eagerly, so hopefully you do really well over there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we're just going to take a very short break. We're going to get a couple of the victorious West Australians, and then stick around. We're going to try and bring you the closing ceremony as well. So you're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network. Good to see you.
You guys going to try and
wait for the camera directly in front of you. Yeah, we'll do that now, so that's awesome. I'll try and fuck everything out. Then I would have said scoring
Can you hear me? Testing.